Chapter 1062. 3 realms were destroyed, and 5 paragons were killed. There was no lack of discussion in the 3 realms. The Destiny Royal Court, which used to dominate a region, was not only a bystander this time, but countless powerhouses were also killed, which made everyone sigh. After this battle ended, the 3 realms, which was a little chaotic before, quietened down instead. Undercurrents were surging. The paragons suddenly disappeared. Evil sects, humans, grandmasters, overseas immortal islands. At this moment, it was all quiet. The shuffling of the cards also made the situation of the 3 realms clearer. One by one, the paragons who did not appear before began to appear one after another. An ancient tree in the Tsunyue dynasty had shown its traces before, possessing paragons' combat strength. On the Destiny Royal Court's side, there seemed to be a paragons appearing now. After Ji Yao and Universe Bao returned to the Royal Court, there seemed to be a mysterious powerhouse disappearing in a flash, his purpose and origin unknown. Fang Ping also began to record the information of the powerhouses of the 3 realms again. Grandmasters, there was one more paragons appearing now, Xian, he of Dark Light Sect. There were a total of 10 paragons of grandmasters. In the bounded domain, there were only Weiyu Mountain, Wanwu Mountain, and Xuanda Grotto Heaven left. These 3 also had one more paragons, Ling Xiao. After this battle, this woman actually recovered her paragon's strength without a sound. In the bounded domain, there were 4 desperate realms. Heavenly Plant's Royal Court. There were 4. Heaven's Fate Royal Court didn't include the 2 newcomers, Ji Hong and King Pingshan. In the overseas immortal islands, according to Li Wuji, there were about 10 desperate realms. As for the overseas demon tribe, there was not only that big fish, there were still a few paragons, or else they would not have forced the overseas immortal islands to ask for help. Including the crazy Taoist, there were currently 7. That's 37 desperate realms. For the humans, including me, Old Wu, and Commander Li, that's 40. And for the evil sects, 2 were killed. How many are there? There are at least 5 or 6 of them. This did not include the 2 demon royal courts. There were also desperate realms demons appearing in these 2 places. In total, there were probably 50 paragons in the 3 realms. Before this, Fang Ping had only listed 28 paragons and 3 emperor ranks. And this was the data before the 5 paragons were killed. One couldn't help but admit that there were some people who hid themselves quite deeply. They would not show themselves until the critical moment. Fang Ping reassessed the strength of all parties and realized that there was still a long way to go. His goal was simple. Before Old Zhang and the others returned, the 3 realms would be the strongest in the human realm. But now it was still too early. Strictly speaking, Old Wu was the only desperation realm human. Just as Fang Ping was calculating everything. In the king's battlefield, the dimensional battlefield, the space of the battlefield that Fang Ping and the others had entered earlier trembled violently. On the altar, a silhouette was faintly discernible, flickering for a moment. Gradually, the silhouette began to solidify. The phantom image slowly appeared, revealing a bright and handsome face. "I have recovered," the mysterious man murmured, seeming to be happy and sad at the same time. He murmured, "He has recovered. The great chaos is coming. Is the 9 heavens going to reappear?" The battlefield was shrinking. It seemed to want to return to his body and become his source world again. While the battlefield was shrinking, some barriers seemed to be broken. In the void, black cracks appeared. The dimensional battlefield that could not be broken before now vaguely appeared the 2nd heavens. The mysterious man murmured, "Are the dead all coming back?" In the 1st heavens, the dimensional battlefield is densely packed, a world, a powerhouse. The powerhouses of the heavenly realm are coming back. The dead were coming back. The mysterious man was neither happy nor sad. He murmured a few times and gradually dissipated. The battlefield had not completely become the source world yet, but this was a trend, a beginning. They might be recovering. This also meant that the great change was coming completely. The great Tao had begun to loosen. It was not only the human realm. The 9 heavens was about to reappear. In the past, no matter how strong a martial artist was, he could only break through the first heavens. But from now on, perhaps the standard used to measure combat strength in the 9 heavens would be used in the 3 realms again. Star Town. Ever since the few old ancestors died in battle, and the others entered the celestial cemetery, Star Town gradually became deserted. A portion of the powerhouses had already entered the various departments to start training. The quiet Star Town was very beautiful, but it had also lost some of its liveliness. But today, there was something unusual in this quiet little city, an anomaly that no one noticed. Star Town, Conference Hall. At the entrance of the hall, there used to be 13 statues, but now there were a lot less. No one had ever thought of digging up Star Town, and no one had ever thought of touching these statues. These were the source objects of the 13 old ancestors. Their life and death depended on the statues. No one had ever touched the bodies of these statues in Star Town, because that would be disrespectful. Among them, the statue of Heavenly King subduing was the most important. At this moment, the glabella of the statue of Heavenly King subduing flickered, and a small black hole appeared, so small that it could not be seen. The black hole was extremely mysterious, and it disappeared in a flash. If someone's mental power was strong enough at this moment, they would discover a shocking scene when they probed inside. Inside the black hole was a vast world. In the center of this world, a huge square appeared. This square seemed to be the only one in the entire world with light and not darkness. On the square, all kinds of words were imprinted on the ground. In the center of the square, a white-haired old man with disheveled hair sat on the ground, holding a book in his hand and reading it seriously. The old man's limbs were shackled, and the end of the chains seemed to lead to the depths of the entire world. At this moment, the old man suddenly looked up and said softly, "The seal has loosened? Interesting, interesting. Li Xuanxia, you suppressed this old man, but someone wants to let me go. This 3 realms is getting more and more interesting. I seem to sense the aura of a powerhouse. Who's coming?" Silence reigned. The old man smiled and continued to bury his head in the book. It wasn't a proper book, or rather, it wasn't an ancient book. In the book, scenes appeared one after another. A punch that destroyed a planet, a palm that shattered the universe, a comic book. It was a modern comic book, a lousy work drawn by an unknown cartoonist with bold and unconstrained ideas. The old man read it with great interest. The old man continued to read, his finger dripping with saliva as he flipped the pages. After flipping a page, he looked up again. "Why aren't you leaving?" "Not leaving? Why should I?" The old man wasn't surprised by the question. He smiled and said, "I'm reading a book to cultivate my mind. Li Xuanxia suppressed me for 7,000 years. 6,000 years ago, I wanted nothing more than to kill my way out and hack that old thing to death. But 1,000 years ago, I realized that this kind of life isn't too bad. But that guy hasn't come for some time. Is he dead? If he's dead, no one will send me anything to relieve my boredom. Recently, I've been studying cytology. You have any information on this? Send some to me. I found a topic worth researching." The old man said excitedly, "Do you know, I'm trying to divide the cells, splitting the golden body into cells, and then splitting the qi and blood. You probably don't know this, but a cell corresponds to a portion of qi and blood. Qi and blood fuse with the cells, recombining. When that time comes, you will realize that you can become anything you want. You can become a dragon, an insect, a human, a demon, a human, a mountain, a lake. It's too interesting. The human body is the most mysterious thing. The old man was like a mad scientist, as he said, excitedly. And I also realized that a cell is a life. I read Journey to the West. Sun Wukong has thousands of incarnations. Actually, that's not fiction. We can do it too, when we give the cells energy, chi, and blood, and the ability to regenerate. When that time comes, you can also have thousands of incarnations. That's too interesting. In the past, we could only use our spiritual consciousness to create clones. But very few people have thought of creating clones, and almost no one has done it. This is an epoch-making discovery. The old man was very excited. He smiled happily and said, "How is it? Isn't it great?" There was silence in the dark. After a long time, someone said, "Since you don't want to go out, I only have one question for you. What is the celestial source? Back then, you created the celestial source, didn't you?" Celestial source? The old man smiled and suddenly became silent. "What is the seed of rebirth?" The voice came again. "You created the celestial source. What does it have to do with the seed of rebirth?" The old man frowned and said after a long time, "I'm just a designer. Do you know what a designer is? I'm only responsible for the design, not the creation. The design was destroyed back then. I've been locked up for thousands of years and have long forgotten about it. Why are you asking me?" Forgotten? The voice came again. The celestial source plan caused the collapse of the three realms, the fall of the heavenly realm, the disappearance of the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors, and the deaths of countless powerhouses. You are the person responsible for the design of the celestial source. I'm very curious. Why did you have to create the celestial source back then? What does the celestial source mean? Why did heavenly king suppression suppress you? What's above the celestial source? The old man continued to read and said without raising his head, "You're asking me, how would I know? I'm just an emperor, not even a sage. Is that so?" The voice laughed and said, "The most outstanding artifact craftsman in the heavenly realm. Is there a need to lower yourself to this extent? I heard that the heaven exterminating arch of the extreme Tao heavenly emperor built the hall of 10,000 origins, the god execution tablet, and even his god exterminating spear. You do know quite a lot." The old man yawned and said with a smile, "But that was so many years ago, I don't remember. I say, shouldn't you leave?" "Leave?" The voice laughed and said, "Up to you if you don't want to leave. If you don't want to talk about the immortal origin and the seed of rebirth, that's up to you. I have a request. Today, I want to forge a divine artifact, and I need Dizun to design it for me. I won't." The old man said indifferently, "I've long forgotten that I'm an expert in human anatomy now. If you want to learn cell division, I'll teach you. If you want to forge a divine artifact, do it yourself." How can this old man remember how to forge a divine artifact? God Creation Envoy, why do you have to do this? Even the ancient Dizun of the 3 realms only remembered the 3 envoys, 8 kings, and 36 saints. However, they had forgotten that they were not the strongest, but the most useful God Creation Envoy. The 3 realms only knew that divine artifacts were invincible, but they didn't know that most of the divine artifacts were designed and forged by the God Creation Envoy. No one even knew that the strongest divine artifact was none other than the immortal origin God Creation Envoy. Am I right? The old man yawned, shook the iron chain, and said indifferently, "What God Creation Envoy? I don't remember. If you don't leave, this old man will sleep." The cat was right. In this world, sleeping was the longest. If you want to live long, it's better to sleep. Cat, the voice in the air laughed. The cat is no longer sleeping. It has long since left the mountain to assist others. God Creation Envoy, you were willing to forge a divine artifact for the cat back then. so why are you willing to forge one for me? Don't you think it's a waste to forge a divine artifact for the cat? The old man said lazily, Are you worthy of being compared to the cat? The cat is so cute. If I give it a little bell, it can let me touch it for 3 years. Can I touch you for 3 years? Scram. If you don't scram, I'll burn you to death. Do you believe me? God Creation Envoy, there's no need to do this. Wang. Before he finished speaking, a fire was ignited in the air. The weak flame instantly burned the void. Kacha, kacha, he burned 5 levels of heaven in a row. It was easy. In this space, the old man instantly ignited 5 levels of heaven and earth. 5 levels of heaven and earth required 4 million calories of blood chi to shatter. The old man casually waved his hand, and the flames burned. An emperor stage with a limit of less than 4 million calories of blood chi would be instantly burned to death. However, the old man said that he was an emperor stage. The voice in the dark was also much more ethereal. The God Creation Envoy is indeed powerful. I'm afraid you're also one of the few powerhouses in the 3 realms who can achieve 100% control of power. The God Creation Envoy yawned again and said lightly, If you continue talking nonsense, I'll burn you to death. Get lost. Hurry up. Don't think that you're amazing just because you hide your head and show your tail. If I'm not wrong, your strength is not that great. What are you pretending for? Ha ha ha. Then I'll take my leave. God Creation Envoy, I'll come again when I'm free. The voice disappeared completely. The old man continued to read, and the flames disappeared. The broken 5th level of heaven began to heal. After a while, the old man raised his head, his eyes moving. That cat came out of the mountain? Interesting. I wonder if it's fat. With a laugh, the old man lowered his head to read the book again. He would talk about it after reading the comic. On this day, there were strange movements in some places in the 3 realms. Heaven division. Fong Ping had just settled things when a cat lay on the ground at the door and said lazily, Liar, it's time to return the money. Hurry up, I'm going to sleep. Sleep. Fong Ping frowned. Why are you going to sleep? Long sleep or short sleep? Long sleep, the cat muttered. I was in a good mood, but recently I've been in a bad mood. Fong Ping's eyes moved slightly. He squatted down and smiled. Big cat, did something happen? The cat's long sleep often meant that danger had happened. The cat was now the strongest in the 3 realms. At least Fong Ping thought so. Did it feel the danger? Everything was developing in a good direction now. Where did the danger come from? Even the cat wanted to avoid it. The cat yawned lazily. I don't know. Anyway, I just want to sleep. If I fall asleep this time and wake up, the 3 realms might be gone. You'll be gone too. I have to return the money. I'm going to hide for the winter. I'll wake up after 30 to 50,000 years. Fong Ping laughed dryly and said quickly, Brother Cat. The cat's tail suddenly stood up. Brother Cat. This was not a good title. It hated being called Brother Cat. Fong Ping was embarrassed. He said quickly, Big Cat, what's going on? Tell me, the cat muttered. I don't know if I say it, but there might be trouble. The big change this time is worse than before. Liar. Some of the dead seem to be coming back to life. I don't know if it was caused by hitting Big Sun last time. Anyway, I think it has something to do with that time. I told you not to let me work, but you insisted. This is great. There seems to be a problem with 9th Heaven's lockdown. Some of the dead, who were trapped in 9th Heaven forever, seem to be coming back. Fong Ping's expression changed. What did it mean? The cat yawned again and said lazily, It seems like this. I sensed the origin of the cat protection team leader. It seems to be alive. But the cat protection team leader died A long time ago. Cat Protection Team leader. Fong Ping was stunned. What was this? The cat knew what he was thinking. It said weakly, "It's to protect cats. Cats don't fight. Someone has to protect cats. I was planning to make you the Cat Protection Team leader when you became stronger. But now, the old team leader seems to be alive. Why don't you not be the deputy leader?" Fong Ping's face darkened. "Leader my ass. What was this cat thinking? I don't have a boss. Liar, you'll be struck by lightning if you scold me." The cat said disdainfully, "Hurry up and pay me back. I'm telling you, I can live stream now. If you don't pay, I'll live stream the whole world and tell everyone that you bullied cats." Fong Ping was confused. This cat, what was it doing? "Big cat, there's no rush," Fong Ping said hurriedly. "You haven't told me if it's dangerous. How would I know?" The cat said impatiently, "I'm going to sleep. I'm going to look for the Cat Protection Team leader. If he's alive, I can sleep peacefully." "Where's the Cat Protection Team leader? Is he strong?" "He's stronger than you." The cat attacked him again, then shook its head and said, "I don't know where he is. Maybe he hasn't fully awakened, so I can't sense it clearly, but I might be able to find him if I look for him." Fong Ping looked sad. The fat cat was going to run away. If it left, where could he go to swindle? Cough. Where could he worship this lucky cat? Fong Ping's eyes flickered. He said quickly, "Big cat, it's so tiring for you to look for him. I'll help you look. It's not too late for you to go to sleep after you find him. Think about it. Who knows where he's trapped? If he's trapped in the latrine, are you going to go there too? If he's trapped for years and shit a lot, are you going to look and smell it? I think you should at least wait for me to find him, get him to clean up the place, and arrange a place for you to stay. It's not too late for you to leave, right?" The cat really wanted to smack him to death. It was disgusted. Liars were so disgusting. They purposely disgusted the cat every time. It was so annoying. But after thinking about it, it made sense. Could the Cat Protection Team leader be trapped in some dirty place? This cat likes to be clean. The cat said weakly, "You're trying to lie to me again. You lie to me every day, and don't give me any benefits. I'm not doing it anymore. I want to run away from home." Fong Ping was speechless. After a long time, he smiled and said, "I'm not lying to you this time. I've prepared 300 carts of snacks for you. They'll be here soon." The cat muttered, got up lazily, turned around, and walked out. They would talk about it later. It had a feeling that the changes this time would exceed the past. Even it felt that it was a little dangerous. At this time, Fong Ping suddenly said, "You know about the Heavenly Hound, right? It might be in the cult. Even if it's dead, aren't you going to snatch its corpse back?" The cat turned and looked at him. After staring for a while, it thought for a while and said, "If the big dog is dead, there won't be a corpse. If it's not dead, then it must have a bad idea. Don't worry about the big dog. That cult's big dog corpse might not be real. Anyway, I can't sense that the big dog is still here. Don't always use cats to lie to me." The cat was depressed. "I heard everything you said, okay?" Fong Ping laughed. "That might not be true. The cult headquarters is in a celestial fragment. It's normal that you can't sense it, but if the Heavenly Hound is really dead, and its corpse is still here, can you bear to see your brother's corpse being defiled?" The cat sighed. It had a feeling that it was going to be tricked again. It was so hard to be a cat. Speaking of which, it felt sleepy and not sleepy recently. What was the meaning of this? It was confused recently. The cat stared at Fong Ping. The scammer had become stronger again. Could it be related to the scammer? The cat began to think about its life as a cat. As it pondered, with a thud, it sprawled on the ground and fell asleep. It was too tiring to think. Sleep first. Fong Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry. You still want to run away from home? Where are you going? You'll fall asleep halfway and be picked up by someone. P.S. I've been reading a book recently, Dungeon Players. I think it'll be popular. Brothers, you can go read it. Chapter 1063. The cat had fallen asleep, but Fong Ping was frowning. The strong had awakened. Actually, since the appearance of the resurrected martial artist, Fong Ping knew that it was very difficult to annihilate a powerhouse. Unless the other party's spiritual energy, indestructible substance, and golden body were all crushed, there was a chance that the other party would recover several years later. But at this time, Fong Ping frowned again. During the battle in the heaven realm, many people died. According to his conjecture, most of them were just affected by the shock waves and were annihilated. Among the 36 saints, many of them were killed by the shock waves. Sovereigns and extreme Tao heavenly emperors fighting, these people could not intervene. Now, it seemed that these people were indeed not completely dead. And the green cat, Fong Ping, squatted down and stared at the cat's big head. Where did this cat come from? And a cat protection team? From what it said, the leader of its cat protection team was not weak. Even the old cat had to seek refuge with someone. The other party was at least at the overlord tier, or even stronger. Can you pull the humans over? Fong Ping calculated in his mind. The Dragon Emperor Gong Juanzi and the other humans all had a lot to do with the Ash Cat. If it weren't for the Ash Cat, these people wouldn't have helped the humans fight against a strong enemy. Song Mao, Tengu, Fong Ping suddenly felt that he really needed to make a trip to the cult. Were the corpses of the evil cult members Tengus? According to Song Mao's words, the heavenly hound was either completely dead or a corpse was left behind. It was very likely that it was not dead. The heavenly hound was an extremely powerful expert, but the heavenly hound loved to fight. Fong Ping was doubtful. Even if the heavenly hound was not dead, would it be willing to help humans? Even if the Ash Cat did not help humans, it would not become their enemy. However, it was hard to say for the heavenly hound. Not necessarily. Isn't Jiao the descendant of Tengu? Maybe we should look for Jiao. As Fong Ping thought about this, he began to devise his next plan. Time was tight, and he still had a lot of things to do. McMao. Fong Ping returned to MCMEU once again. In the battle on the 23rd, MCMEU's powerhouses were in the limelight. Mad Lion, Wu Wudi, Little Spear King, in the process of fighting against the catacombs. These powerhouses who had recently risen to power had made a name for MCMEU and mankind. He was invincible among his peers. Victory in every battle. MCMEU Martial Arts Society. Fong Ping was no longer familiar with the Martial Arts Society. Some of the older members left the Martial Arts Society and the university one after another. Some of the leaders of the Martial Arts Society, when Fong Ping was the president, had almost all retired. Of course, over at the Martial Arts Society, Chun Yunshi had yet to step down as the president, but soon. In reality, Chun Yunshi did not care much about the Martial Arts Society anymore. She had discussed with Fong Ping about replacing people, but they could not find a suitable candidate even after so long. Currently, MCMAU was full of talents. There was no shortage of candidates for president. In the president's office of the Martial Arts Club, Fong Ping strode in. The decorations were still the same as before. Ever since he became the president and Chun Yunshi took over, everything remained the same. The decorations in the office were still the same as before. At this moment, there was someone in the office. There was more than one person. Fong Ping stepped in. The few of them looked at Fong Ping with a complicated expression. Chun Yunshi, Fu Changdong, Zhao Lei, Yang Xiaoman, these people were all Fong Ping's classmates. However, after entering martial arts university. Fong Ping actually did not attend many classes. Other than these people, there were also some newly emerged elite students. Fong Ping did not look at them, nor did he care about them. He nodded at Chun Yunshi. Very quickly, his gaze landed on a person in the corner. He sat alone in a corner, indifferent and fierce. This was Zhao Xuemei. This was the Zhao Xuemei who walked out of the Donglin catacombs this time. One person and one staff, with the strength of a middle stage rank. 7. She swept the same rank with her staff. She took down 3 rank 7s and killed them. A rank 7 powerhouse who walked out of a bloodbath. Even at this moment, she deliberately restrained herself. There was still a murderous aura that could not be concealed. Zhao Xuemei suddenly killed her way out during the big battle. No one knew what she had experienced these days, and no one asked. Compared to before, the current Zhao Xuemei was much more withdrawn. Even if these people were very familiar with her, now that they were in contact, they could not help but avoid her a little. The murderous aura was heavy, and the smell of blood was very thick. Fong Ping looked at Zhao Xuemei. Zhao Xuemei was also looking at him. When she saw Fong Ping, she nodded slightly. Fong Ping also nodded, saying, "Very good, but I still want to say something. Humans are strong, strong in unity, strong as a whole. It's good to move alone, but it's also easy to stray from the group. This person has been away from the group for a long time, so he no longer sees himself as a member of the group. Xuemei, do you understand what I mean?" Zhao Xuemei nodded slightly, not saying anything. Fong Ping laughed. "Don't be like Qin Feng Qing. Towards him, I don't have much hope anymore. He has been away from the group for a long time. When he comes back, I'm not even sure if he still sees himself as a human, as an MCMAU person. But that's him. You are my fellow disciple, classmate, friend. I hope that you can keep it that way." Fong Ping said a few simple words and did not continue. Zhao Xuemei had entered rank 7 quickly with her once honed realm. She had even entered middle stage rank 7, surpassing those who had broken through earlier than her. It had to be said that this was very surprising. Of course, it was not surprising either. She had broken through the limitations of her aptitude, worked harder than others, fought harder, and stood on the same starting line. She had gone further than others, and Fong Ping could understand that. Fong Ping sat down, looked at the crowd, and said with emotion, "MCMU's new generation is very strong. In the 3 realms, I don't think there is any force whose new generation is stronger than MCMAU. There are many factors involved in this. I won't deny that I have contributed to it, and this is also the truth. But I won't deny your efforts either. Your contributions are not something that any high-ranked martial artist can achieve with just resources alone. To be able to come this far, all of you have made me feel that all my efforts are worth it." Fu Changding chuckled. "You didn't call us here today just to say this, did you?" Fong Ping, "I'm still anxious to digest what I've gained this time. If you have something to say, just say it. What's the rush?" Fong Ping laughed and said, "Let's talk about a few things. First, the position of the Martial Arts Society president should be changed." Fong Ping laughed. "Although all the human forces have gathered as one, from my point of view, everyone is the same. However, people are close and distant. I still have different feelings for MCMAU. That's why the Martial Arts Society needs to continue to be strong and be a good example for the MCMAU students. In a few months, the new students will enter the university. There's no summer break this year. The exams will end in May, and the new students will enter the university in June. Now is also a chance for everyone. Earth's energy is recovering, and MCMAU is a martial arts holy land. There are many powerhouses, imperishable substances, and Origin Chi are all over MCMAU. The students live here every day, which is very helpful to martial arts. Fu Changding and the others nodded. Soon, Zhao Lei laughed. This martial arts society president election is not up to us. We don't want to be the president either. Fang Ping, be more straightforward. Why don't you let your Fang Yuan be the president? Nonsense, Fang Ping said exasperatedly. Don't give me stupid ideas. Fang Ping looked at the few nervous students in the crowd who were not from the same batch. He suddenly looked at Tang Wen and said, Tang Wen, you're going to be a junior soon. Grandmaster is just around the corner. You're also qualified to be the Martial Arts Society president. What do you think? Tang Wen said nervously, Fang, Minister Fang, call me senior. Senior. Tang Wen breathed a sigh of relief and said hurriedly, I can't. Also, I have a lot of things to do. My dad said that if I don't break through to rank 7 before July, he will cut off our father-daughter relationship. So, I have to cultivate hard during this period. Before July, this timing was very special. Fang Ping broke through to Grandmaster in July. Hearing that, Fang Ping could not help but laugh. Your dad is suffering because he wants to save face. Of course, you're the one suffering. He insisted on choosing before July. You don't have to ask me to know what he wants. Tell him, if he's capable, let him compete with me himself. What's the use of oppressing your daughter? Tang Wen was embarrassed. I don't dare to say that. Also, can my dad compare to you? Fang Ping laughed and looked at the two people in the other corner. They were also the two youngest people this time. Zhang and Zhang Shui, Zhang Tao's grandson and granddaughter. Old Zhang had a few grandchildren. Zhang Peng was the most outstanding. He was now the governor of Sun City, a rank 8/5 refinement. The rest were the two who were thrown to MCMAU. Because of Fang Ping, not many people cared about their identities in MCMAU. The grandchildren of the Martial King. If they were anywhere else in the catacombs or in Grandmaster, they would be at the level of an emperor. However, in MCMAU, not many people cared about this. When Fang Ping had not left MCMAU, he had tormented these two a lot. Of course, there was always a reward for your efforts. Both of them entered the university as middle ranks. Now that they had entered the university for almost a year, both of them had advanced to peak rank 6. They were much stronger than Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was now peak rank 5. Fang Ping did not expect her to become stronger. As for Fang Yuan, he was more lenient. However, as for these two, Fang Ping glanced at them and smiled. Zhang and Zhang Shui, according to seniority, both of you have to call me uncle. The office fell silent instantly. Zhang and Zhang Shui opened their mouths slightly. They wanted to say something, but stopped, their faces showing helplessness. What did he say? Why should they call him uncle? Both of you are old Zhang's grandchildren. Everyone in the 3 realms knows about the Martial King. But to be honest, other than Zhang Peng, who has some fame now, no one in the Zhang family can support the next generation of the Zhang family. Fang Ping sighed. Both of you have come to MCMAU, so you can embarrass the Zhang family. Both of you are still a distance away from high ranks. You are only freshmen now. Coincidentally, the position of president. Zhang will take it. Do well, that's what you should do. If you don't do well, both of you will be the shame of the Zhang family. I don't care. When your grandfather comes out, he will deal with you. Both of them smiled bitterly. What did he mean by doing well? In the past 2 years, MCMAU had become terrifyingly powerful. Who could surpass them? However, since Fang Ping had said so, they had to accept the position of president even if they did not want to. Zhang was a little nervous. He gritted his teeth and said, Fang, Senior, then I will be the president. I dare not say that I will surpass you. Senior, useless. Fong Ping suddenly scolded. You don't even have this little bit of ambition? So, what if you surpass me? When I was the president, I thought about beating your grandfather in the future. I thought about replacing him and becoming the minister. Didn't I do it now? Have some ambition. I'm not even emperor level. Surpassing me won't be a problem. As soon as Fong Ping said this, everyone smiled bitterly again. These words. All right, they would not say anything else. It's decided then, President. Now that MCMAU has established the MCMAU Army, it will mainly be handed over to the Martial Arts Society to manage. I hope that MCMAU's army can become an army like the 3 departments' army and even more powerful. Fong Ping chuckled. It shouldn't be difficult. MCMAU is a land of heroes. Won't it be a piece of cake to surpass the Wuhan army? Without waiting for them to speak, Fong Ping pressed his hands together and said, This is a small matter. Let's stop here. The second matter is mainly related to Yunqi, Xuemei, and the rest. I also want to see if you have the opportunity to become stronger. Fong Ping looked at Chen Yunqi and Zhao Xuemei, saying slowly, You have been back for 2 days. Do you know about the origin formation that I laid in MCMAU? Both of them nodded. They had heard about it. You were not here before, and I didn't get any feedback. I want to try and see if you can take this opportunity to become stronger. Zhao Xuemei's eyes moved slightly. She said slowly, Can I do it too? Of course. Fong Ping smiled. But there's a prerequisite. I think you should have no problem. If you can become high-ranked, I think it won't be too big of a problem. In fact, he had already sensed that both of them wanted to absorb his energy and give it back to them. However, Fong Ping did not give them energy. He had other ideas now. In the source world, once those projections appeared, there was a tendency for them to give back. Of course, this was Fong Ping actively releasing energy to give back. It was not passive. Now, the people of Sun City and MCMAU could receive feedback. However, there were a few exceptions. Old Wang and the rest could not do it. He did not know if there were any problems. When Chen Yunqi and Zhao Xuemei stepped into MCMAU, Fong Ping actually had this feeling of feedback, but he had endured it. At this time, Fong Ping muttered, Recently, I've been doing some experiments. The reason I called you here is actually to be my lab rats. The big origin array has not been perfected yet. I want to continue perfecting it and see if there are any differences. Everyone looked at him eagerly. Fong Ping's big origin array had to be said to be a pioneer in the 3 realms. It could actually allow people to increase their strength without any obstacles. Moreover, there was no sense of abruptness. To everyone, this was inconceivable. Could there be changes now? Fong Ping smiled. It's like this. I think the arrangement of the array might not be the balanced kind. Maybe in a certain place, you might obtain a greater increase. Or, in other words, if you make some preparations in advance, you can also become stronger. Even there is a possibility of a second or even a third advancement. Fong Ping was thinking about a problem. The MCMAU people's advancement was actually the feedback of his Tao. It had nothing to do with the array. According to his understanding, this Tao was the kind where you and I were both strong. If that was the case, was it really just one advancement? If that was the case, the effect was actually not considered heaven-defying. One advancement per person. If some rank, one martial artist advanced to rank 2, if they did not have a chance to advance again in the future, was this considered becoming stronger together? Therefore, this time, Fong Ping also did an experiment to see. In the end, would there be a chance for a second advancement? The few of them could not be more envious. It could still be improved. Was it real or fake? Once was already surprising enough. It could actually be done again. Fu Changding could not wait. Then what are we waiting for? Let's give it a try. Then let's go. Fong Ping stood up and said as he walked, I've checked. If you want to say the most suitable place for MCMAU to advance, it should be the Southern Cemetery. Everyone was a little surprised. Fong Ping, on the other hand, glanced at his own origin space. He realized that the fusion of MCMAU and the origin world was not the same. It was the same in Sun City. Some places were illusory, and some places were solid. It was said to be a fusion, but in fact, it was not a complete fusion. Fong Ping pondered. In different places, perhaps the limit of the feedback power that was obtained was different. Also, I'm going to try to accelerate inside and outside at the same time. Everyone did not really understand what Fong Ping said. However, very soon, everyone understood what he meant. Southern Cemetery. Fong Ping directly used his mentality to create a solidified ball. In the ball, Fong Ping filled a large amount of imperishable substance, including some things that they could not see, but vaguely felt that there was something different. Origin Chi. These people had not entered rank 9, so they could not see Origin Chi. However, they could sense the aura of the origin. Fong Ping wanted to try and see if the effect would be better if he enhanced inside and outside at the same time. Not only that previously what he gave back to martial artists was vitality force. However, this time, Fong Ping wanted to try and see if he could give back different powers. Could destruction force do? Could mentality do? Could origin chi do? He had never tried it before. Before this, he did not think so much. Now he had the time to think about it and try it. Both of you go in and adjust your state. Unity of essence, spirit, and soul. I'll see if there's any difference after I've adjusted my state. Both of them looked at each other. Without saying much, they entered the ball one after another. Fu Changding clicked his tongue and laughed. Differential treatment. Fong Ping, when we were advancing, you didn't mention so many things to take note of. Fong Ping glanced at him and grinned. Jealous? A little. You're going to die of jealousy. Fu Changding did not know whether to laugh or cry. All right, I'll stop talking about it. Fong Ping did not care about him. He watched as both of them sat down, adjusted their state, and immersed his consciousness into the origin world. Origin world. Right now, the origin world was bigger than before. In the origin world, the existence of MCMU and Sun City was not connected. Instead, they were divided into two parts, rooted in the origin world. At this moment, in the mini-city, some figures were moving. Fong Ping thought for a while. With a thought, Chun Yunxi and Zhao Xuemei's apparitions appeared in MCMAU, appearing in the clearest area of the Southern Cemetery. Two apparitions appeared, with a vague suction force, as if they wanted to absorb Fong Ping's power. The apparitions were a passageway. They communicated with Fong Ping and the real bodies of these people who were projected in his origin world. Fong Ping's feedback of power was also done through the apparitions. Fong Ping looked at the two apparitions. After some thought, he condensed a gush of mentality in his hand. It was very weak. He had never tried to give back other people's mentality because the apparition's absorption force mainly absorbed vitality force. However, Fong Ping wanted to try it today. It might be dangerous, but Fong Ping believed that even if it was, it would not be too dangerous. For martial artists, improving themselves was nothing more than mentality and the strength of their physique. To improve the physique, Fong Ping had a way. The imperishable substance was the best treasure. However, for mentality, even if humans had learned the method to materialize the brain nucleus, mentality was still growing slowly. Not only humans, but ancient martial artists too. In the past, Fong Ping always felt that ancient martial artists' mentality was strong and that their speed of improvement was extremely fast. Now, he knew that mentality methods might be useful, but the effect was not that strong. A gush of mentality was inserted into the two apparitions. Fong Ping observed the changes in silence. The mentality was slowly absorbed. Fong Ping's gaze flickered. It could work. Fong Ping opened his eyes quickly and looked at the two in reality. Their mentality did not seem to have any changes, and their physique did not improve either. Fong Ping raised his eyebrows slightly. Was it too little? Very soon, he sank into the origin world again and continued to give back. 100 hertz, 1,000 hertz mentality was not too strong for most martial artists. Even at the peak, it was only about 10,000 hertz. 1,000 hertz mentality was inserted, but it did not even make a splash. Fong Ping frowned. This feedback was not limitless. The attraction was slowly decreasing. Once there was no trend of absorption, it meant that it was saturated. Mentality has no effect. Just as Fong Ping was thinking, in the outside world, Chen Yunxi's expression changed slightly. Veins popped out on her forehead. In the next moment, her brain core materialized. A crystal-like crystallized body appeared before her eyes. Chen Yunxi had just broken through a realm not long ago. Her mentality was only about 1,000 hertz. At this moment, the crystallized body grew bigger out of nowhere. Under the surprised gaze of Fu Changding and the rest, the brain core began to spin continuously, absorbing the imperishable substance and origin chi in the round ball. After Chen Yunxi's original mentality and vitality force were burned, they were reduced to the lowest level. Even her brain core could not be materialized. However, at this moment, her aura was becoming stronger and stronger. Her mentality was almost restored to her peak state very quickly. Not only that, she was still absorbing the imperishable substance to hone her physique. Chen Yunxi was the first to change. Soon after, Zhao Xuemei's brain core also materialized. This was completely different from the others. Fu Changding and the rest watched in a daze, directly increasing the strength of the brain core. Could this work? The few of them looked at Fong Ping, instantly envious. However, Fong Ping could not care less. The moment the two of them changed, Fong Ping realized that the absorption force had become stronger. At this moment, Fong Ping's eyes were bright. Mentality gushed out like it was free. Not only that, Fong Ping growled, "Pay attention, I'm going to try something else. Be careful." This time, Fong Ping no longer provided mentality. Instead, he gave back origin chi directly. The moment origin chi gushed in, both of their bodies shook violently. In the next moment, both of their mouths spurted blood. Seeing this, Fong Ping hurriedly stopped. He frowned slightly, somewhat understanding. Origin chi could perhaps be given back to rank 9. They seemed to be unable to absorb it. If that was the case, Fong Ping did not try anymore. He poured in his mentality again. 2,000 hertz, 3,000 hertz. Fong Ping's mentality was consumed extremely quickly. 1,000 hertz was absorbed almost in the blink of an eye. If it was someone else, it would be difficult to recover their mentality at this moment. They would not have the chance to give back either. However, Fong Ping did not have this concern. His mentality recovered instantly and poured in again. In the outside world, both of their mentalities were getting stronger and stronger. At this moment, Chen Yunxi's brain core suddenly made a cracking sound. Instead of being shocked, everyone was happy. Her brain core had leveled up. Yes, it had leveled up. Under everyone's gaze, the outer layer of the brain core fell off. Once again, it absorbed a large amount of energy, becoming brighter and bigger. Chun Yunxi's vitality had not recovered to its peak, but her mentality had increased a lot, reaching the stage of middle stage rank 7. Middle stage rank 7. That was the symbol of a 2000 hertz mentality. After a while, on the other side, Zhao Xuemei followed closely behind. Unexpectedly, there was also a cracking sound in her brain. Not only that, Zhao Xuemei's physique was at its peak. Almost instantly, Zhao Xuemei's physique and vitality erupted. Her mentality erupted. She had leveled up directly. Upper stage rank 7. Everyone was even more dumbfounded. This leveling speed. How could it be so much faster than theirs? Fang Ping was giving her special treatment. About 10 minutes later, Fang Ping stopped all his movements. At this moment, Zhao Xuemei's head was already suffused with a touch of gold. Her skull was turning into golden bones. Once the golden bones were complete, she could step into rank 8. As for Chun Yunxi, she had reached peak middle stage rank 7. At this moment, her vitality had recovered. Compared to before, it felt completely different. Previously, when Chun Yunxi reached rank 7, although she was also very powerful, she gave Fang Ping a feeling that her aura was a little superficial. Now, however, it was extremely solid. This was the effect produced after Ninth Elder calcined her. Both of them did not seem to have improved much, but Fang Ping vaguely discovered something different. As expected, they could level up a second time, or even a third time. When Chun Yunxi broke through to middle stage rank 7 and Zhao Xuemei reached upper stage rank 7, Fang Ping discovered that their absorption ability, which was about to stop previously, had recovered a little. This meant that after they increased their strength, they could receive feedback again. As for Fang Ping, he also realized this. After his strength became stronger, it seemed like he could receive more feedback. I see. Fang Ping understood now. When he leveled up, or others leveled up, they could receive a greater degree of improvement and feedback. As they became stronger, the origin qi supplied to him would increase, and the apparitions would also become stronger. This was the Tao that everyone could become stronger together, not the origin Tao that could only be used once. At this moment, Fang Ping was also overjoyed. If that was the case, then it was very necessary to integrate other places. This was a long-term business, not a one-time deal. Chapter 1064. Global Martial Arts, crying and asking for leave for 2 chapters. Currently in the middle of typing, please wait a moment. After the content has been updated, please refresh the page to receive the latest update. Chapter 1065. Chun Yunxi and Zhao Xuemei's strength did not increase by much, but Fang Ping was extremely satisfied. He was satisfied, and so were Chun Yunxi and Zhao Xuemei. Especially Chun Yunxi, previously on Mount Luofu, Ninth Elder had burned her vitality and mentality, causing her rank to drop. Although Fang Ping said that he was fine, she was still very nervous. Although rank 7 martial artists today were not considered top-notch powerhouses, they could still participate in most battles. Once she dropped to the middle ranks, she could only participate in some large-scale army battles. Now, not only had her strength recovered, but she had also advanced to middle stage rank 7, which was beyond her expectations. However, seeing Zhao Xuemei's head glowing gold, Chun Yunxi was also very envious, saying enviously, "Xuemei, you're amazing." Zhao Xuemei was indeed amazing. When she first entered the school, Zhao Xuemei, who had the worst qualifications and the lowest rank, looked like she would become the first martial artist besides Fang Ping to advance to rank 8. Zhao Xuemei smiled, saying softly, "It's all because of Fang Ping's help, or else I might still be in the middle ranks." On the day she entered MCMAU, her only thought was to enter the middle ranks and become a powerhouse like her father. Now, in a short span of 3 years, She had a glimpse of the rank 8 golden body. Undeniably, Zhao Xuemei was also very emotional. A person's life was full of all kinds of opportunities and adventures, or rather, meeting people who gave her these opportunities and adventures. Fang Ping. She was fortunate to be Fang Ping's classmate, fellow disciple, and friend. Getting to know Fang Ping was also the beginning of her change of fate. There were countless martial artists with good qualifications than her in the world, and there were many more martial artists who were more persistent and resilient than her. However, those people, because they were not familiar with Fang Ping, so they did not have these opportunities and might still be struggling in the middle and low ranks. Thank you. It's my luck to know you. These words were said quietly in her heart, not spoken aloud. In the next moment, Zhao Xuemei turned and left. She left so freely, so decisively. Since she was almost rank 8, then she would become a real rank 8, an invincible rank 8, an invincible rank 9, until she reached the peak. Now, the chaos in the outer realm was also her chance. Since Donglin was destroyed, there were other catacombs. Maybe the inner realm was not bad. Zhao Xuemei did not stop walking. Fu Chongding and the others watched, suddenly feeling an indescribable admiration. Xuemei, let's go. Fu Chongding laughed heartily and chased after him. He had wanted to settle down for a while, but how could that compare to the rewards of battle? Let's fight. Zhao Lei and the others also chuckled and left with him. Their eyes were filled with determination. Zhao Xuemei was almost at rank 8. It was bad enough that they were left behind by Fang Ping, but were they going to be left behind by Zhao Xuemei as well? Everyone had left, but Chun Yunxi did not. Chun Yunxi looked in the direction where Zhao Xuemei had left and smiled. She said softly, "Xuemei is very powerful, and she works very hard." Fang Ping nodded slightly. Zhao Xuemei had been spending most of her time in the catacombs for the past few years. "I want to go to the catacombs too." Chun Yunxi lifted her head and looked at Fang Ping. She said softly, "This time, I want to stay for a while. Give me a mentality avatar. If the mentality avatar is useless, it means that I'll be fine. Whether I have news or not, you don't have to worry about me." Fang Ping looked at her. After a while, he said, "Don't you want to rest for a few days? Time waits for no man. They've all caught up. Other than you, I'm the most talented student in my cohort." Chun Yunxi smiled brightly. She was the most talented student in Fang Ping's cohort. She was almost thrice honed. If Zhao Xuemei could break through the limit of qualifications and advance to rank 8, she could do it too. And she would do even better. Fang Ping looked at her for a while and said slowly, "Every time you advance, you can return to MCMAU. When you return to MCMAU, there's hope for one more chance to advance. If you're in danger, use the avatar." "Got it." Fang Ping said no more. A crystal shortsword appeared in his hand. In the past, he had used other people's avatars. Now he could do it too. Chun Yunxi took it and chuckled. She waved at Fang Ping and left quickly. This time, she did not plan to go to the catacombs in Sino Nation. The world was so big, she should go to other places to see. Sino Nation knew too much about MCMAU and Fang Ping too much. 107. Other than Sino Nation, there were many other places too. Go to those places to fight. After a short reunion, these people left one after another. Not only Chun Yunxi and the others, but the huge MCMAU had a lot fewer people in no time. Lion Tang brought Tang Wen to the catacombs. He had made up his mind to bring his daughter to fight. He would not return until she reached rank 7. Lu Fengru also left. Her students had all become high ranks. She was only rank 8. This was unacceptable to the strong-willed Lu Fengru. Wu Quishan had become a paragon. Back then, she was not worse than Wu Quishan. Therefore, Lu Fengru also left alone. The others, other than those who had missions, either went in groups or alone, running in all directions. The ground of the catacombs was filled with these people's figures. They had all left. Wu Quishan had broken through to the paragon. Fang Ping also breathed a sigh of relief. Earth had a new paragon to watch over it. If that was the case, it was time for him to plan for himself. At this moment, Fang Ping's origin Dao was progressing very quickly. Although it was fast, Fang Ping still noticed something unusual. Something was wrong with the brain. When old Zhang was a human king, old Zhang's mentality increased very quickly. Fang Ping advanced to rank 9 with 9 refinement mentality. Moreover, his Dao was actually more suitable to increase mentality than old Zhang's. However, Fang Ping realized that his mentality did not increase very quickly. Mentality was very important. The control of power, the expansion of the origin world, the integration of cities like Sun City, and even the horizontal expansion of the origin Dao were all related to mentality. This was a combination of potential and strength. However, the problem with the brain made Fang Ping discover a major drawback. His mentality did not increase much. In fact, this was a kind of protection. When Fang Ping continued to increase his mentality, his brain seemed to be unable to support it. Back then, he used self-detonating mentality as his trump card. Now, Fang Ping was at a disadvantage. Every bite, there were gains and losses. He relied on self-detonating mentality to kill countless enemies. He killed many strong enemies. However, at this moment, Fang Ping also experienced the consequences. Fang family. The cat woke up. At this moment, a man and a cat sat opposite each other. Their expressions were very solemn. The cat widened its eyes and looked at Fang Ping for a while. It was a little tired. Its head rested on the table, and said weakly, "Why did you wake me up again?" The brain. Fang Ping said in a low voice, "My brain can't withstand a stronger mentality now. Once my mentality is too strong, it can easily shatter the brain. Big cat, is there any way to save it?" Fang Ping then said, "It's still okay now. However, once I reach the impasse realm, the origin Dao will be 1,000 meters. At that time, my mentality will generally go through a transformation. Ordinary martial artists can break through the 10,000-meter barrier. Maybe I will also surge a lot. If that's the case, when I reach the impasse realm, that might be the time of my death." As soon as he said this, the cat fell into deep thought. After a while, it mumbled, "I told you not to self-detonate long ago, but you insisted." The first time it saw Fang Ping, it said that he could not self-detonate. However, Fang Ping continued to self-detonate his mentality. This was also a helpless move. If he did not self-detonate, he might not have lived until now, and he might not have been able to kill some people. He might have died that time in the martial battlefield. After grumbling, the cat thought hard. After a while, it mumbled, "Actually, there is still a way to save you. Big cat, tell me." The first one, the cat thought for a while, and said, "If martial artists with strong mentality die, there is a certain chance that they will condense a spiritual consciousness crystal. This is usually a sourceless mentality. It's different from yours. This kind of mentality contains some vitality, the vitality of mentality." The cat explained, "If you get this, you can try to repair the cracks in your brain. Usually, you can repair some. Of course, you have a lot of cracks. This can only treat the symptoms and not the root cause. Unless you get Big Blackface's spiritual consciousness crystal, maybe it can heal you." Fang Ping's eyes moved slightly. Old Wang had also told him about this before. Looking for the remains of the Annihilate Heavenly Emperor might help him recover. However, the extreme path heavenly emperors seemed to be in the real sky grave. That place was extremely dangerous. Thinking of this, Fang Ping asked, "Are the remains of the extreme path heavenly emperor in the real sky grave?" "I don't know." The cat said casually, "I didn't see it. Also, although I've been to the sky grave before, it's really dangerous. If you go now, you'll die." The cat arched its buttocks and said, "Also, there might still be people alive in the real sky grave. You'd better not go. If I go, the living might not attack me. If you go, that might not be the case." Living people. Fang Ping frowned slightly and did not say anything. Old Wang said he wanted to go with them last time, but in the end, he kept dragging it out. Obviously, Old Wang knew something, knew that it was dangerous, so he did not mention this to Fang Ping. Fang Ping did not ask in detail. He asked again, "Then you said that the first one is the spiritual consciousness crystal. Are there other ways?" Having said that, Fang Ping suddenly thought of something. He took out a crystal and said with a strange look in his eyes, "Is it this?" The cat was a little surprised. Its big eyes were full of curiosity. After looking for a while, it said, "Yes, you actually have one, but this is very weak. It definitely can't help you repair it. At most, it can repair a few cracks." Fang Ping breathed a sigh of relief. This was not bad. He had gotten this crystal from Gu Qing. When he killed Gu Qing did not leave anything behind. The only thing he left was this. Fang Ping thought of this and said suddenly, "Big cat, if I want to get the spiritual consciousness crystal, is there any special requirement?" "Yes, it's the southern sect." The cat's big face was full of smiles. "You can get it if you kill that old man Gong Juanzi. But you can't beat that old man." Fang Ping understood. He did not care about the Gong Juanzi it was talking about. That old man was a good person. Even if he could kill him, Fang Ping would not do it. As expected, it must be the kind with strong mentality, and the kind that specialized in mentality. He had killed many paragons, but he almost never saw anyone with this thing. Now it seemed that it was because he had killed too few Southern sect powerhouses. Mentality of more than 10,000 hertz. Southern sect powerhouses specializing in mentality. Fang Ping calculated and shook his head slightly. This kind of person could only be the paragons of the Southern sect. For example, the paragons of Weiyu Mountain, the head of the Southern sect. Among the 8 territories, 3 were destroyed. Quechang Mountain and Purple Cap Mountain were gone. Shwanda Grotto Heaven belonged to the Northern sect, calculating. Unless he killed Weiyu Mountain's Jiangyu, he might be able to form another spiritual consciousness crystal for Fang Ping. But soon, Fang Ping's eyes moved slightly. If Gu Qing could do it, what about Pingyuqian, where he was? The land of boundaries was divided into the north and south sects. Those grandmasters also had differences in the cultivation of mental energy and physical bodies. Gu Qing had cultivated his mentality to 10,000 hertz in rank 9. Pingyuqian might also have majored in mentality. There are some in the grandmasters. There might be some in the overseas immortal islands too. Fang Ping was a little more cautious. He did not really go to kill the paragons now. Fang Ping thought for a while and said, "What about the others?" The cat yawned and said, "The first is the spiritual consciousness crystal. The second is the treasures. Many treasures have the effect of repairing mentality, which is to repair the brain nucleus. There have been people who had a broken brain nucleus in the past. If they self-destruct all the time, the brain nucleus will be broken. What treasure?" The cat said casually, "It's the myriad life fruit of the old deity emperor. The old man even used this fruit and other good stuff to brew the myriad life spring water. It's delicious and has the effect of restoring mental strength. The spirit emperor's bathwater seems to have this effect too, but it's not as powerful as the emperor gods. There are also a few kinds of good vegetables like this in the imperial family's vegetable garden. They can be repaired. The imperial family. The imperial family seems to have them too. It said they were all emperors. Fang Ping was speechless. Soon, the cat muttered, Big Blackface has them in his house too, right? Big Blackface is very strong. I remember that Big Blackface's mentality increased very quickly. Maybe he has these treasures too. Besides, Big Blackface's disciples are also paragons, right? If they're dead, there might be a spiritual consciousness crystal left behind. Wait. Fang Ping was surprised. The Heaven Destroyer Emperor has disciples? The cat rolled its eyes, despising Fang Ping crazily. Didn't you go to that little dark room? That little dark room is the place where Big Blackface locks people in to cultivate. The cat said matter-of-factly, He built such a big little dark room. There are a lot of people. Of course he has disciples, just not as many as the others. Big Blackface definitely has disciples. Fang Ping thought about it. It seemed to be true. Back in the Hall of Myriad Origins, he said that this was a palace used for cultivation, and there were many rooms. Obviously, the Heaven Destroyer Emperor had disciples in the past. As for Heavenly Battle Emperor, he might have disciples too, but the number was very small. It could be seen from the layout of Heavenly Battle Palace. There were almost no servants' rooms in Zhan's mansion, and it was very simple. As for Heavenly Battle Emperor, Fang Ping thought that he probably did not have one. He was an idiot looking for this, and that to fight all day long. Did he have time to teach his disciples? Is the Hall of Myriad Origins in the Hall of Myriad Origins? Fang Ping realized last time that there might be some good stuff in the Hall of Myriad Origins. Maybe there were spiritual consciousness crystals. No, that's a place to lock people up. The cat said gloomily, He has his own home, right? You can look for it yourself. The swindler asked too many questions, and it dozed off again. However, the swindler seemed to be in a bit of trouble now. The cat was still patient and continued. Spiritual consciousness crystals, treasures used to repair mentality. Don't you want to fight that evil sect? King Kuan is the son of the earthly emperor Old Man. King Kuan might have treasures of the earthly imperial family. You can look for it too. Fang Ping's eyes moved slightly. This did not conflict with his plan. Thirdly, divine artifact. Divine artifact? Fang Ping said hurriedly. What divine artifact? It can heal the brain. Nucleus? Big cat, lend it to me. The cat rolled its eyes and muttered, I don't have it. I actually have half of it, but I gave it to you. It's the 9 Emperor Seal. The 9 Emperor Seal combines the 8 King Seal and 36 Saints tokens to form a complete divine artifact. That divine artifact has a lot of Emperor's chi. If you use it, you might be able to repair the brain nucleus. You seem to be walking the Emperor path now. You should be able to use it. Fang Ping was speechless. Forget it. Pretend I didn't say anything. What a joke. Forget about the 9 Emperor Seal, the 8 King Seal. How could he snatch the semi-divine artifact in the hands of 8 heavenly king powerhouses? There were also 36 Saints tokens. These things were comparable to Emperor weapons. Even if they were not in the hands of the Saints, they would be in the hands of some Emperor-level powerhouses. There was no way to gather them all. Fang Ping had completely given up on the third method. At this point, the cat could not think of anything else, but it quickly muttered, actually, there's another treasure that's also slightly useful, the cat fruit. The cat fruit is very magical. It can repair the cat world, expand the cat world, and heal some injuries. I planted the cat fruit. The seeds were picked up by me in the past outside 9th Heaven. Later, I even found the Emperor God Old Man, who gave me many, many good things to plant. The effect is very good. As it spoke, the cat said with grievance, "You said you'd help me look for a cat tree, but I never did. Now, there's almost no fish monster to eat in my cat world." Without the cat tree, its progress had actually slowed down a little. It lacked the origin energy and some other things, causing its progress to not be as fast as it used to be. Back then, the cat world was growing up even when it slept. But now, it still had to cultivate by itself. The cat was dying of exhaustion. It increasingly disliked staying in the cat world. Once it entered, it had to work. Cat tree, Fong Ping frowned slightly. "I don't know where the cat tree is hiding. The three realms are so big, and the Forbidden Sea is even more boundless. If it finds a place to hide, it'll be very difficult to find." The cat muttered, "The cat tree definitely won't hide in the sea. It's afraid of water. If it wants to grow, it'll grow on the shore." Fong Ping nodded, slightly. It should be so. Otherwise, the cat tree would not have crossed paths with the people from the Sky Plant's royal court. King Pine and Li Zhu had crossed paths with the cat tree. Both of them had obtained the cat fruit. It was said that some of the demons from the Guardian Royal Court had also obtained the cat fruit. The cat tree changed its name to Azure Emperor and was once a member of the Guardian Royal Court. Cat tree, Fong Ping muttered in his heart. He did not lack the origin energy now, but the cat fruit had some additional effects. It was not just the origin energy. If he could find the cat tree and bring it back, then it would be much better with the cat fruit. Moreover, the cat could not forget it. It had always wanted to eat the cat fruit. It seemed like he had to pay more attention on this trip. "The key is that it's useful for repairing my brain core. I have to pay more attention." Fong Ping calculated the points that the cat mentioned. It was actually very difficult to kill the Southern Sect's ultimate demon and turn it into a spiritual consciousness crystal. Divine weapons were not reliable. The treasures of the Emperor were also very difficult to find now. However, the evil sect might have the relics of the earthly Emperor. This was still worth a try. Other than that, there was the cat tree. "Cat tree, evil sect," Fong Ping muttered. He did not know the cat tree's whereabouts. It would be difficult to find it. He could try to find it. However, it could not be the main target. Maybe he should go to the evil sect to take a look. As for the Sky Cemetery, Fong Ping gave up directly. It was too dangerous. Not only was he in danger, but if he wanted to go to the Sky Cemetery, Old Wong and the rest would probably go too. Then everyone would be in danger. If he wanted to take risks, he had to find a relatively safer one. Sky Cloud Island. Fong Ping thought of the only evil sect spy that he knew about. Back then in the King's battleground, that person acted as the oracle and communicated with Chong Qingzi and the rest. He did not know if he was dead or alive now. That guy could pass orders to a few paragons, so his status should not be low. At least he could come into contact with some evil sect bigwigs. "I have to go to the overseas Immortal Islands. Besides, the overseas Immortal Islands are under siege now. I have to think of a way to help the Boundless Force solve the crisis, let alone the others. But before I go, I have to go to Star Town." Fong Ping wanted to go to Star Town to take a look. Previously, the Hall of Myriad Origins was used by Old Zhang to block the door. Later, with the Heaven Confining Bell, the Hall of Myriad Origins was abandoned. Right now, the Hall of Myriad Origins was probably still in Star Town. He wanted to go and see if the Hall of Myriad Origins could be opened further inside. Maybe there were really some spiritual consciousness crystals there. Fong Ping thought about it, but he still wanted to try the function of the spiritual consciousness crystals. Soon, Fong Ping's brain core, which seemed to be covered with ice patterns, appeared in front of him. The densely packed patterns looked beautiful, but Fong Ping's head hurt. This was not beautiful, but dangerous. The brain core had become a huge problem for him now. Moreover, as he became stronger, Fang Ping discovered a huge problem. He might not be able to become stronger anymore. If he did, there was a high chance that he would kill himself. Fang Ping took a deep breath, glanced at the brain core, and quickly memorized the numbers. 360 cracks. These 360 cracks were densely packed together, surrounding the entire brain core. Fang Ping picked up Gu Qing's spiritual consciousness crystal and glanced at the cat. The cat said lazily, "Eat it. You can use it after you eat it." Fang Ping frowned. This thing was actually a little disgusting, but Fang Ping still swallowed it without hesitation. As soon as he swallowed it, the cat rolled around happily. "Idiot, big idiot, this is a spiritual consciousness crystal. It's useless to eat it. Swallow it, spit it out, and just smash it to repair the brain core." Fang Ping was speechless. How bored was this cat to lie to him about this? Ignoring it, Fang Ping spat out the spiritual consciousness crystal and smashed it. Soon, a special energy formed and began to repair the brain core. 1, 2, when he reached the 10th crack, the energy was exhausted. Fang Ping frowned. A Wanha powerhouse's spiritual consciousness crystal could only repair 10 cracks. If that was the case, he would need at least 36 such powerhouses to repair his brain core. That was too difficult. It's not reliable to rely on spiritual consciousness crystals. Fang Ping had a plan in mind. Unless it was from Annihilate the Heavenly Emperor, the others might not be of much use. Chapter 1066, West Mountain, where Star Town was located. The current Star Town was even quieter and more peaceful. Those who dared to fight had gone to fight. Those who dared not join the battle dared not show their heads either, quietly guarding Star Town. The Su family, the Lu family, the Zhou family, the clans whose ancestors died in battle had turned out in full force and were active in the various catacombs, all for the sake of the clan's next peak in half a year, fighting their way into the celestial cemetery, inheriting the ancestor's name, and not embarrassing the ancestor. In the city, there were very few powerhouses left, if not for the fact that Star Town still had a direct passage to Mount Royal Sea to guard. The small city would be even quieter than it was now. In the small city, Jiang Chao wandered on the Bluestone Avenue. When he saw children running and playing, he would sometimes scold them. Go back and practice martial arts. Young people don't work hard. Old people only feel sad. All the ancestors are fighting in the celestial cemetery. All the elders are fighting in the catacombs. And you still have the mood to run around. Hurry up and go back to cultivate. Jiang Chao's expression was dignified, his broad and fat body somewhat imposing. However, there were also some children who questioned loudly, "Second brother Jiang, why don't you go and cultivate? Don't you want to join the battle?" Jiang Chao snorted. "It's all because of you guys. There aren't many powerhouses in the city now. I'm a rank 8 golden body powerhouse, so I have to stay behind to guard the city and ensure peace. Now, I'm still Star Town's guardian and also your chief instructor, so you guys have to work hard. Otherwise, how can you face me?" Jiang Chao said indignantly. "If it weren't for you guys dragging me down, I would have gone out and killed a lot of people. I might have even stepped into rank 9 now. Why do I have to stay in the city all the time?" Some of the children believed it. Some were dubious and some questioned, but my uncle said that second brother Jiang didn't go out because he was afraid of death. So when Grandpa Jiang and the others left, second brother Jiang insisted on staying in the city. "Nonsense!" Jiang Chao scolded. Then his voice was like a bell, directly transmitted to a courtyard, shouting, "Jiang Mingho, if you dare to slander me, believe it or not, I'll hammer you to death." The Jiang family's guardian was only a rank 7, and he dared to slander me. Jiang Chao. Did he have a death wish? Don't you know that I, Jiang Chao, am the strongest in the entire Star City? Of course, there were rank 9s around, but rank 9s still had to guard that passageway. Even if they took shifts, they could not stay in the city for long. Now that he, Jiang Chao, had reached the point where he could be the master of the house, there were actually people who dared to slander him. The Jiang family's courtyard was silent. However, in the courtyard, a middle-aged man shook his head speechlessly. Slander? Who slandered you? Why did you, Jiang Chao, stay behind? Don't you know? Let's not talk about the fact that some of our families stayed behind. After all, our families are big, and we have to take care of them, such as teaching some martial arts to the children. But your Jiang clan, is there a need for this? How many people were there in the Jiang family? There were only a few males. Jiang Yuanhua had gone on an expedition. Jiang Hao had been running between the catacombs restricted zone and the passageway. Recently, Jiang Chao's old man had gone to the House of Guardians. There was no one left in this generation of the Jiang family. Was there a need for Jiang Chao to stay? Of course, he was a rank 8 after all. The middle-aged man was no match for him, and he could not be bothered to expose his true colors. This guy was not very open-minded. Once he gained the upper hand, now that the others were not around, he might really want to beat him up to establish his dominance. The Jiang family member did not respond. Jiang Chao was suddenly immensely pleased with himself. He said loudly, "Everyone cultivate well. When everyone has the ability to protect themselves, I won't have to guard the city for the big family anymore. It's fine to waste some time now. After all, the younger generation is our hope." As Jiang Chao was speaking, his expression changed slightly. At this moment, a shadow appeared in the sky above Star Town. "Fang Ping is here to pay a visit." A few simple words, but it made Jiang Chao's expression change drastically. F***CK. Why is this guy here? Is he here to capture me to participate in the war? After all, he was already a rank 8. Actually, there was not much need for a rank 8 to be responsible for guarding the city. Under normal circumstances, they would go and participate in the war. Fang Ping came to Star Town without any reason. Could it be that he knew that he was now the boss here, so he wanted to throw him into the catacombs? Jiang Chao's expression was strange. However, at this moment, powerhouses from the other families appeared one after another. The King Human was here. Just like the arrival of the King Marshal back then, the current one was more worthy of attention. Star Town was a peerless existence. The King Human came to visit. Actually, everyone was a little nervous. They did not know why the King Human came at this moment. Many people looked toward the conference hall. Seeing that the number of statues was still the same as before, many people relaxed a little. They were afraid that Fang Ping had suddenly come to offer his condolences. A few powerhouses flew toward Jiang Chao. Jiang Chao was just about to find a place to hide when he cursed under his breath. "Oh no, why did these guys come here? Jiang Chao, the King Human is here. Quickly open the main gate and welcome the King Human." A few older martial artists spoke one after another. This was Fang Ping's first visit to Star Town after becoming the King Human. No matter what, they could not afford to be negligent. Times were different now. They could not be the same as before, where a small gate would do. They had to open the main gate and welcome Fang Ping. And this needed Jiang Chao, the strongest powerhouse among the guards, to control. Jiang Chao was stunned for a moment, feeling a little helpless. That seemed to be true. Despite his helplessness, Jiang Chao quickly recovered his smile and said, "Of course. Everyone, follow me to welcome the King Human. The King Human is my brother, Jiang Chao. We have a very good relationship, so don't be afraid." Everyone glanced at him. Fang Ping was indeed on good terms with this fatty. The Jiang family also had more contact with Fong Ping. But they had a very good relationship. Were you sure? They could not say much. Fong Ping was still waiting outside. After a while, the gate of Star Town, which was rarely opened, suddenly opened. Usually, a small passage was opened to enter and exit. Today, more than 10 powerhouses took out their tokens and opened a long passage under the decorated archway in the city. It was incomparably wide, tens of meters wide. The powerhouses arrived one after another. As soon as the gate opened, they quickly bowed and said, "Star Town welcomes the king, human." In front, Fong Ping had his hands behind his back. He wore a loose martial arts uniform and military boots, a smile on his face. Hearing this, Fong Ping spread his arms and used a little force to lift the bowing people up. He smiled and said, "Seniors, you are too kind. Star Town is Sino Nation's martial arts holy land. Star Town is the pinnacle and the savior of mankind. Fong Ping is just a junior. He is not worthy of your respect." This was different from the first time he came here. Fong Ping was not strong then, but he was very domineering. Now it was the opposite. He was strong, but his attitude was much more humble. Everyone's position was different, so the things they considered were naturally different. When he first came to Star Town, he needed to pretend to be strong so that the people in Star Town would not dare to bully him. Now, there was no need. He was strong, and he was the leader of mankind. Now that he had come to visit Star Town, there was no need for him to be arrogant. On the contrary, the pinnacle of Star Town was fighting for mankind. Even if he had the strength to be arrogant now, he could not act like a big shot when the pinnacle of Star Town was away. Fong Ping's humble attitude made everyone breathe a sigh of relief. They did not forget that when Fong Ping came here for the first time, he had a conflict with Star Town. After that, King Wu and the others came personally. Even Warlord was lured back, and both sides almost made a big deal. Toward Fong Ping, everyone was a little more cautious. Fortunately, as Fong Ping's strength changed, the situation changed, and he was not the same as before. In front of the crowd, Jiang Chao grinned and said enthusiastically, "Minister Fong, it's Star Town's honor to have you here. I've already prepared a banquet. Let's have a drink at noon." Fong Ping glanced at him and smiled. "Why are you still in the city?" Jiang Chao was embarrassed. "Where else would I be if not in the city?" Fong Ping ignored him and walked in. After looking around, he looked at the meeting hall immediately. When he saw that the sculptures were still there, he breathed a sigh of relief. Recently, he did not dare to look at these, afraid that he would find out some bad news. Many of Star Town's 13 pinnacle powerhouses had died. If more people died, mankind would lose too much. Fong Ping felt more at ease, since the sculptures were not lost. However, he quickly looked around and raised his eyebrows slightly. Have the other seniors gone to the catacombs? Among the crowd, a rank 7 old man from the Li family replied, replying to the king, "Senior, you're too kind. If you don't want to call me by my name, you can call me Minister Fong." The education received in Star Town was different. The difference in strength between them and Fong Ping was huge. If they called him by his name, they might not be used to it. However, Fong Ping felt awkward calling him Minister Fong. The other party did not dare to argue. He said quickly, "Minister Fong, the rank 8 and rank 9 powerhouses of the Zhu family have all gone out. Some have gone to the House of Guardians, some to the military department, and a few are guarding the passageway. I've already sent someone to inform them. The passageway is more important." Fong Ping smiled. The passageway in Star Town leads directly to Mount Royal Sea. Logically, the pinnacle should be guarding it to prevent the catacombs' pinnacle powerhouses from breaking in. However, everyone knows the situation of mankind now. The pinnacle powerhouses are few and far between. Minister Wu and I have things to do, so we can only leave this matter to Star Town. However, when we have more manpower, the pinnacle powerhouses will still be guarding the passageway here. The Leaf family old man laughed. Minister Fong, the catacombs pinnacle powerhouses are terrified. The situation is 1,000 times better than before. Now, near the passageway or near Mount Royal Sea, there are no catacombs powerhouses who dare to show their faces. This has already exceeded our expectations. Fong Ping smiled and did not continue this topic. At this moment, he looked at Jiang Chao, who was listening obediently, and smiled. "Where's your brother?" "Pervert?" Jiang Chao saw that Fong Ping did not ask about him anymore and breathed a sigh of relief. He said, hurriedly, "Pervert went to the catacombs. He often goes to the catacombs' restricted area to fight. Pervert is still very powerful. He's almost at Golden Body 5th level now. I think he's almost at rank 9. Jiang Chao grimaced. "My ancestor is fighting. My grandfather is also fighting. My dad is also at the military department. Pervert is fighting now, too. As for me, I'm staying in Star Town to help teach the children. I'm also contributing to the country. There's no difference in position." Jiang Chao's words were telling Fong Ping, "My whole family is going to war. Don't let me go. I'm afraid of death." If he died, the Jiang family's roots would be broken. Fong Ping glanced at him. This guy, even if he had reached rank 8, he was still such a good-for-nothing. Old Wang's heart had been sucked out by him for nothing. Jiang Chao felt a little uneasy under his gaze. He smiled hurriedly and said, "Minister Fong, are you passing by Star Town this time, or do you have something to do? If you have something to say, say it. If not, get lost." With this guy by his side, he was trembling with fear. He was afraid that Fong Ping would throw him to the catacombs. Fong Ping understood what he meant. He laughed. "Have you never thought of becoming stronger? Back then, you and your brother broke through to rank 8 at almost the same time. You were still rank 8 first level. He's almost rank 8 fifth level. Are you prepared to stay at rank 8 for the rest of your life?" Jiang Chao said sheepishly. Then how about you give me some imperishable substances to hone my body?" Fong Ping felt helpless. "Other than these, don't you have any other way to become stronger?" Fong Ping continued walking. He was walking toward the conference hall. After a few steps, he said slowly, "Is there any trouble in Star Town City? The few seniors, Heavenly King Garrison, aren't here. If there's any trouble, just say it. Don't worry. If it can be solved, I'll think of a way to solve it." Jiang Chao was about to say no when a burly middle-aged man beside him said in a low voice, "Minister Fong, I have a question." "Senior, please speak." "You flatter me, Senior." The middle-aged man said in a low voice, "My name is Xiao Zhan. I'm from the Xiao family. We don't know the specifics of the battle in the Imperial battleground, but I heard that my family's elder ancestor, Thunder King, seems like recently the Xiao family can't even lift their heads. Minister Fong, Xiao Zhan can't believe that my family's elder ancestor is a traitor. The Lu family, the Zhou family, they're going to tear down my family's elder ancestor's life statue and move the Xiao family to Star Town City. This has never happened to the Yang family. Now, it's happening to the Xiao family. If it weren't for the few family heads making peace, the Xiao family would have been removed from the list. Minister Fong, Xiao Zhan just wants to ask you one thing. My family's elder ancestor. Really, not many people participated in the battle that day. Now, only Fong Ping was in the human realm. Whether the Xiao family's elder ancestor, Thunder King, had betrayed or not, everyone had their own opinions. During the battle that day, there was a voice. The Thunder King seemed to have spoken. Some of the martial artists who were closer heard it. However, after Fong Ping returned, he did not do anything to the Xiao family, so the others were not sure about the Xiao family. Even so, the Xiao family was still being ostracized in Startown City, especially the few families whose elder ancestors had died in battle. Now, some people had shifted their anger to the Xiao family. As soon as Xiao Zhan's voice fell, in the crowd, a few powerhouses from the Liu and Zhou families who stayed behind looked at Fong Ping with complicated expressions. Was the Xiao family's elder ancestor a traitor? Fong Ping was silent for a moment. He said slowly, Senior Thunder King and Heavenly King Garrison are not on good terms. This has been shown before. During the battle, one of the gods' heaven's paragon betrayed them and killed a human paragon. At that time, Li Zhu had a conversation with the Thunder King, but the Thunder King did not make a move. Heavenly King Garrison also said that the Thunder King would not betray them. I trust Senior Heavenly King Garrison. Since that's the case, it's just a personal grudge. It can't be considered betrayal. As soon as he said that, Xiao Zhan heaved a sigh of relief. He explained, my family's elder ancestor and Heavenly King Garrison are not on good terms. Actually, it's just a matter of the past few years. Everyone knows that the two of them are not on good terms. Although Elder Li is strong and the pillar of humanity, as a member of the Xiao family, Xiao Zhan does not dare to judge whether my family's elder ancestor is right or wrong. But according to what I know, this matter may not be my family's elder ancestor's fault. My family's elder ancestor once said that Heavenly King Garrison does things without considering the consequences. Some things are wrong, but he still insists on doing them. That day, Elder Li did not refute. So Xiao Zhan feels that this matter, as he said that, the Li family's old man frowned and said, Xiao Zhan, the elder ancestor, has his considerations. Only the two elder ancestors know the details of this matter. Saying this now, aren't you trying to divide humanity's powerhouses? I didn't mean that, Xiao Zhan said with a solemn expression. But everyone says that my family's elder ancestor doesn't care about the big picture, hides his strength, and betrays humanity. They don't dare to sacrifice for humanity like Elder Su, but the Xiao family has been fighting at the forefront all these years. The elder ancestor has even fought with the catacombs peak a few times. There are some things that I have to say. As the two of them talked, Fong Ping pondered a little more. The Thunder King did not betray humanity that day. He only said that he had a personal grudge with Heavenly King Garrison. What personal grudge did the two of them have, since they could build Star Town together back then, and the Xiao family's elder ancestor did not seem to have lost his memory? It meant that their relationship was not bad. Then why did they turn against each other now? Fong Ping's eyes flickered, and he said with a smile, when did the two elder ancestors' discord start? They didn't get along for a long time, but about 30 years ago, the two elder ancestors quarreled once. Since then, Fong Ping nodded slightly and said with a smile, everyone, there's no need to fight anymore. Let the Thunder King and Heavenly King Garrison settle their own matters. The Li family and the Xiao family are both meritorious families of humanity. No one will deny this. Therefore, there's no need to mention the traitors anymore. Also, Senior Sword King and the others dying is a tragedy for humanity. Humanity will remember it, but there's no need to take it out on others. Seniors, you also need to warn the younger generation not to damage the harmony because of this. Star Town is of the same breath and branch. We've lived together for more than 300 years. The reason we can stand tall without falling is because of our harmony and unity. When Fong Ping said this, everyone stopped talking about this matter. At this moment, Fong Ping had also arrived at the meeting hall's door. He looked at the sculptures and said softly, this time, Fong Ping came to Star Town mainly for the Hall of Myriad Origins. Of course, I'm not taking it away. I'm just looking for something. If Absolute Peak was still here, Fong Ping would have moved it away directly. Absolute Peak was not here, so he had to be more polite, lest others misunderstand that he was bullying others with his power and forcibly snatching treasures at this time, causing panic in Star Town. As he said this, the boundary wall trembled slightly. Very soon, someone entered Star Town. In the distance, Su Howren and a few others rushed over quickly. From afar, Su Howren said with a smile, "Fong Ping, wrong. I should call you the king. The king of humanity has graced us with your presence. Apologies for not going out to meet you. Senior, you're too kind." Fong Ping cupped his hands slightly and smiled. His gaze did not fall on Su Howren but on Jiang Hao. He said with a smile, "Brother Jiang is amazing. How long has it been? And you've actually advanced to rank 8 5th refinement. I think 6th refinement is not far away, and rank 9 is just around the corner. In Star Town, it seems like Brother Jiang will become this generation's first powerhouse to advance to rank 9. Jiang Hao was still as elegant and suave as before. A long sword hung at his waist, a smile on his face, like a spring breeze. He had always been like this, even when he killed people. At this moment, hearing Fong Ping say this, Jiang Hao chuckled and said, "Even rank 9 is still far from Brother Fong." In today's world of great competition, if you don't enter the absolute peak, you'll always be an ant. As he said this, Su Howren said with a smile, "Jiang Hao is also well prepared now. I think rank 9 is not far away, and it's not impossible for him to reach absolute peak. It seems like the Jiang family may have a second desperation realm soon." Su Howren was quite satisfied with Jiang Hao. In fact, he had some thoughts in his heart. His granddaughter Su Zissou, should she pair up with Jiang Hao? However, he quickly dispelled the idea. He would rather his granddaughter and Jiang Hao be a couple. He was also very worried about his own granddaughter. Jiang Hao was fine. He was afraid of death. Although he was despised by others, at least he did not have to be on tenterhooks. Although Jiang Hao was strong, Jiang Hao was known as a pervert. When he killed people, it was like a spring breeze, making people panic. Moreover, he had been fighting with powerhouses recently. Who knew when he would die in the catacombs? Jiang Hao was more reliable. Su Howren praised him and said, "Previously, the North House of Guardians wanted Jiang Hao to be the deputy of the House of Guardians. Jiang Hao said that he was not willing to go before he reached rank 9. Fong Ping, Human King, do you think this matter can be discussed?" Fong Ping smiled and said, "The North House of Guardians. The guardian of the North House of Guardians, Senior Shun Haotian, has now entered the Sky Cemetery. The Shun family head, Shun Mingwei, has suffered serious injuries this time. I heard that the North House of Guardians is in a mess now. The garrison has no one to lead them. Letting Jiang Hao go is to command the North House of Guardians. There were many people in Polaris City in the East and North Houses of Guardians. Under normal circumstances, the deputy guardians were people from Polaris City. Zhang Tao and the rest did not care about this. The 2 houses of guardians were established to allow people from Polaris City to come out of seclusion. The people from the Li family mainly went to the military department. If people from the other families wanted to come out of seclusion, most of them would go to the 2 houses of guardians. Right now, the older generation in Polaris City had their own tasks. Jiang Hao was also the best among the younger generation. He still had the ability and qualifications to be the deputy guardian of the North House of Guardians and lead the garrison. At this moment, Jiang Hao also interrupted, "If I'm not rank 9, Jiang Hao doesn't think I can take on the position of deputy guardian. Jiang Hao is young, and used to acting alone. Su Haoran laughed and said, "That's okay. Young, it's the era of the young now. Do you expect us old guys to advance by leaps and bounds? You guys have more potential." Su Haoran strongly supported him. Jiang Hao's recent performance was extremely outstanding. Everyone saw it and was quite gratified. Although Polaris City was now one with humans, Polaris City still hoped that the two houses of guardians could be controlled by Polaris City. As for the East House of Guardians, Chun Chi was now acting as the deputy guardian. Chun Chi previously served in the Heaven Division and was considered Fong Ping's subordinate. Now, the East House of Guardians could be considered to be under the Heaven Division. The old people in Polaris City would not be willing to lose the North House of Guardians. It was too obvious that the older generation would take on the position of deputy guardian. The younger generation, on the other hand, was slightly better. As the two of them talked, Fong Ping smiled and did not say anything, continuing to look at the sculpture. After the two of them talked for a while, he smiled and said, "Then let's wait for the North House of Guardians to make a decision, and then report to the 4 departments and 4 residences for discussion. I can decide on some things, but we still have to go through the process." As soon as he said this, everyone nodded. Fong Ping said this. The matter was considered settled. Fong Ping smiled faintly and said, "Family head Shun's injuries are not light. He has not fully recovered yet. Brother Jiang has broken through to rank 9. I think Family Head Shun intends to let Brother Jiang take on the position of the North House of Guardians. What do you think, Brother Jiang?" Jiang Hao smiled and said, "Jiang Hao has nothing to think about. Moreover, I don't know when I will break through to rank 9. "Is that so?" Fong Ping smiled and said, "It should be soon. 3 months at the longest, 1 month at the shortest. Brother Jiang, don't be modest in front of me." As soon as he said this, Jiang Chao was surprised and said, "So soon? Fong Ping, are you sure? This freak was actually going to break through to rank 9. It had only been a few days. When they went to the Emperor's tomb, both of them entered rank 8 together. He was only a first-tier rank 8, and this freak was going to break through to rank 9? Fong Ping smiled and nodded. Jiang Hao raised his eyebrows and said in surprise, "I'm not sure about this myself. Brother Fong, I'm very good at reading people." Fong Ping laughed and said, "Let's go to the Hall of Myriad Origins and take a look. After we're done, I still have something to do and have to go settle it immediately. Everyone, don't be too polite." Hearing this, Su Haoran did not say anything else. Very quickly, he took the lead and led everyone to the valley where the Hall of Myriad Origins was located. At this moment, Fong Ping said to Jiang Hao, "Brother Jiang, as the North House's deputy guardian, you have to report to Magic City. Coincidentally, I also have something to give Brother Jiang. In a few days, I will wait for Brother Jiang in Magic City." Jiang Hao smiled and said, "Okay, then I'm looking forward to Brother Fong's gift." Fong Ping smiled and did not say anything else. They had arrived at the valley where the Hall of Myriad Origins was located. Chapter 10:67. The Hall of Myriad Origins was still standing in its original spot. Fong Ping stood in front of the door, thinking of his first time here and wanting to take this away. Not only him, old Zhang had the same thought. What belonged to Yao Chengjun belonged to martial arts universities, and what belonged to martial arts universities belonged to Zhang Tao. That day, old Zhang was a robber. Of course, Fong Ping was not going to back down. In the Hall of Myriad Origins, some of the halls were already empty, some still had origin. Fong Ping and the others entered. As they walked, Fong Ping said, "I'm afraid some of the resurrected martial artists failed to resurrect. Some of them have been resurrected and sent to the bounded domain. This time, there were many casualties. Some of them have now walked out of Star Town and entered other places to fight. I'm a little curious now. Back then, the Demon Emperor was so powerful. Why did he recruit these rank 7 and 8 martial artists to join the war and kill their way into the catacombs? Everyone was puzzled. What was the point of Fong Ping saying all this now? Fong Ping said as he walked, the Demon Emperor said he wanted to save the world and not let it end. In fact, because he took these high-ranked martial artists away, martial arts in the world were cut off. If Star Town had not been built 300 years ago, martial arts might have been cut off on Earth today. That's why the Demon Emperor said he wanted to save the end of days. Not only did he not succeed, he made things worse. Jiang Chao nodded. That's right. He's so powerful, yet he insisted on bringing these people to their deaths. I think he did it on purpose. He wanted to kill these people and destroy martial arts on Earth. Fong Ping smiled and continued walking forward. As he walked, he said, the 3 palaces in front were left by the Demon Emperor. Of the 3 palaces, was one of them his, or all 3? What's in the hall? Fong Ping chuckled. He didn't die. I don't think he left the origin behind. What's hidden in these 3 halls? Everyone shook their heads. Su Haoran said helplessly, who knows? Even old ancestor Li didn't know. That's not necessarily true. Fong Ping said lightly, what kind of powerhouse is Sky Crusher King? This myriad origin hall is just a place where the heaven-exterminating emperor arranged for his disciples to go into seclusion. Given how powerful the heaven-suppressing heavenly king is, he might not really be ignorant. Perhaps he knows more than anyone else what these 3 halls are. Once again, everyone looked at him strangely. Did Fong Ping come here today just for these 3 halls? Soon, the group arrived in front of the 3 palaces. One of them had an inscription on it. Abandoned disciple of Purple Cap Mountain, defeated general, deserter. Fong Ping looked at the inscription on the tablet and chuckled. Is this the work of the Demon Emperor? Why do I feel that the Demon Emperor has already given up all hope that his status as the Demon Emperor is no longer enough for him to regain his confidence? This is him burying himself. What? Jiang Chao was puzzled. What do you mean? He is burying the Demon Emperor and the unquestionable sword. Fong Ping said mildly, this is also the final verdict for the Demon Emperor. He's a failure. Even if he was strong, even if he was terrifyingly strong, he was still a defeated general, a loser. Therefore, this time, he buried himself, and thus there was an emperor's tomb. The Demon Emperor from 1,000 years ago had already died. In the past 1,000 years, had there been anyone who claimed to be the Demon Emperor? No, he had already buried himself 1,000 years ago. He was buried here, in the Emperor's tomb. Since then, there has been no more Demon Emperors in this world. So profound, I don't understand. Jiang Chao was depressed. What did he mean? Fong Ping looked at the 3 palaces, murmuring, burying himself? What can he bury? His own body. A palace buries the body. A palace buries the past. What is buried in a palace? Buried in the human world. Buried in the 3 realms? Fong Ping murmured, I'm afraid that's the case. When the war broke out in the imperial battleground, the Demon Emperor appeared. His body walked out from here, right? Everyone's expression changed abruptly. What did he mean? Fong Ping squatted down, rubbing the ground gently, closing his eyes to sense for a while. This place, some time ago, there seemed to be someone standing there. Who is here? Fong Ping turned around, looking at the crowd. Very quickly, he stood up and said, the Demon Emperor might have been by our side all along. Or rather, the Demon Emperor is dead, and the one who has been by our side all along is the new, unquestionable sword. Fong Ping looked at the 3 palaces, smiling. I'll destroy one now. Take a guess. Will there be anything inside? Jiang Chao was surprised. You can destroy it? Even my elder ancestor can't. Once it's destroyed, it'll easily cause the entire Myriad Origins hall to shatter. Of course I can. Even if I can't now, I can do it soon. Fong Ping smiled. The suppressing Heavenly King can, but the Battle King might not be able to. However, those who possess Emperor-level strength should be able to do it. In other words, the Shao clan's elder ancestor, Senior Thunder King, might be able to do it too. The Thunder King's strength was close to Emperor level. This was the combat strength that he had possessed a long time ago, unlike the Battle King, which was only possessed in the later stages. Should I open it? Fong Ping murmured. If I open it, what's the point of an empty palace? What are you trying to do? Bury the 3 realms? Or bury yourself and start anew? Fong Ping laughed. Very quickly, he shook his head and said, Forget it. I won't open it. The Demon Emperor died a long time ago. Jiang Chao and the others were confused. Fong Ping's words today were so cryptic that they could not quite understand him. Fong Ping turned around and left. As he walked, he said, Don't hurt my people. Otherwise, I might have a chance to kill you. When he said this, the palace behind him trembled. In the next moment, a phantom appeared. Fong Ping said without turning his head, Playing tricks. You've lost face as the Demon Emperor. Of course, the Demon Emperor is dead, so there's no face to speak of. At this moment, Su Haoran and the others were extremely nervous. Behind them, the phantom laughed slowly. Fong Ping, King of Man, good plan. The Sky Cemetery incident, was it your idea or the Martial King's? What are you trying to prove to me? Fong Ping laughed. Prove that you've actually walked out of the Sky Cemetery? Prove that you're by my side? Or prove that your strength is so strong that even if you're not in this realm, your mentality can still be projected? You once told Old Wang that the resurrected Heavenly Emperor Zhan might be able to fight you. Do you really not know the names of the 4 emperors? Or do you like to brag? What's your strength, exactly? Also, what are you afraid of? What do you want to do? If you don't mind, why don't you tell me? I'm not thinking of anything. Is that so? Fong Ping laughed. Actually, I know why you want to bury yourself, because you've always wanted to take revenge on yourself. I know why you're so crazy. Do you want to bury the 3 realms, rebuild the 3 realms, and resurrect your lover? Do you think that you can start anew just like that? You're just running away. You've cut off your relationship with everyone. You've given up on Song Mao, your master, your sect, those demon plant servants who follow you. You've given up on everything. You still want to give up on the entire 3 realms and let the 3 realms start anew because of you. Don't you think that's very selfish? You're very eloquent. The phantom replied lightly, then quickly said, However, all of this is just your own guess. Your guess might not be true. What you see might not be true. You think I'm your enemy, but I might not be your enemy. Do you know that when I killed the Life King, I roamed the Source World once? I know, the Demon Emperor Phantom said, lightly. The Source World is illusory. What can roaming prove? Prove what? Fong Ping said coldly. There's no need to prove anything. I know that you're still alive. I know that you're no longer a Demon Emperor. That's enough. Don't play any more tricks. It's meaningless. Perhaps. The Demon Emperor Phantom laughed, a little lost. Actually, I want to ask you a question. Go ahead. If one day your wife, your lover, your parents, and your sister all die, will you still uphold your current ideals and fight to protect them? I don't know. You know, there's no need to answer me hypocritically, the apparition of the Demon Emperor said faintly. Back then, I was just like you. I cultivated without worries and wanted to make Purple Cap Mountain Stronger. I traveled around with the cat, fished when I had nothing to do, and talked about the past and present. However, reality has proven that all of this is just a fabrication. To survive in the three realms, this is not what you need. It's strength, the strength to break the cage, to break the chessboard, to break everything. If you don't have enough strength, it doesn't matter what you think. Only by killing to stop killing, only by breaking everything, only by killing all those who oppose you, will you have the right to live according to your ideas. To live, this three realms has long been in a foul atmosphere. Cages and shackles have been placed on our heads. Fong Ping, do you really have the right to walk out of this chessboard? I don't know, but I'll work hard in this direction. Then I'm also working hard in this direction. Why do you deny all of this? The demon Emperor Phantom laughed. Why don't you put yourself in my shoes and directly deny my hard work? You think you're right. I think I'm right. Do I have to obey you? This is the right thing to do? Fong Ping nodded, but soon laughed. That's true, but I'll say it again. You do your thing. I can't be bothered. But if you do anything to the people around me again, I'll let you know that those who offend me will not have a good ending. Are you threatening me? The Demon Emperor's voice was slightly playful. Just because you're a double nine and advanced, just because your origin Dao is broad, do you know that a broad Dao will definitely go further? If King Wu dies, Fong Ping, you're nothing. When the Sky Cemetery opens, King Wu dies. Even if I don't attack you, you'll definitely die. And I can do all of this. Fong Ping turned around, looked at the phantom, thought for a while, and said, You can try. If you can kill King Wu, I'll consider you powerful. I don't care what agreement you've reached with Heavenly King Garrison, but if you want to kill King Wu, you probably have to ask Heavenly King Garrison's opinion. Right. Do you really think that King Wu doesn't know your identity? Even I have guessed some of it. How could he not know? It's fine if he doesn't say it. Actually, I don't want to say it either. Some things, it's good that everyone knows. At least we don't have too much conflict now, right? The Demon Emperor Phantom said nothing. Seeing this, Fong Ping laughed again. Since you asked me a question, then I want to ask you a question too. Speak. When you went to the Sky Cemetery that year, what did you see? Fong Ping looked at him, his eyes clear. I realized that after you left the Sky Cemetery, your behavior and trajectory changed. You didn't find the cat, didn't take revenge, but hid, waiting until the North-South War broke out before you appeared. After that, you disappeared for 1,000 years. All this only changed after you came to the Sky Cemetery. What did you experience in the Sky Cemetery? The Sky Cemetery. The Demon Emperor Phantom swayed a little. Fong Ping said again, Back then, the cat said that someone concealed the catacombs powerhouse's Dao, and said that ordinary heavenly kings can't do this. And in this 1,000 years, only you, the ultimate powerhouse, have been active in the catacombs once. Did you do it? If you can do it, it means that your strength is beyond imagination. Then why do you hide? In the Sky Cemetery, did you see a sovereign or an extreme path heavenly emperor making you feel that you can't beat the other party, so you continue to endure? Fong Ping said for a while, and the demon emperor laughed. This isn't a question, right? Besides, if you want to know, why don't you go yourself? I'm afraid of death. This answer clearly surprised unquestionable Jian, but he soon felt relieved and said with a smile, Then wait until you're not afraid of death, or when you have to go, then go. Fong Ping nodded slightly, already preparing to leave. At this moment, unquestionable Jian suddenly said, The world is about to change. What should appear is about to appear. Layers of fog will be uncovered. Chess games will be broken one by one. Fong Ping, are you really prepared? Fong Ping's footsteps paused for a moment, stepping away, his voice coming, I've worked hard, struggled, killed, fought. Even if I lose in the end, I won't regret it. Is that so? Unquestionable, Jian said with a faint smile, but if one day you realize that everything you've done is useless, will you still have hope? I'm afraid. There's only despair. Sovereign, huh? I don't think I'll despair, just because the sovereign is alive. I hope so. Unquestionable, Jian's figure dissipated. Until now, everyone was inexplicably shocked. Jiang Chao had almost shrunk into the ground earlier. At this time, he patted his fat chest, his fat jiggling, and said with lingering fear, Fang Ping, this guy is really hiding here? He didn't go to the sky cemetery? He went. Then how? You'll know what you should know, and there's no need to know what you shouldn't know. As Fang Ping said that, his aura changed, and he reached out and grabbed the air, the top of the Hall of Myriad Origins. Fang Ping realized last time that it seemed to be hollow. He had transformed into Yao Qingjuan's aura earlier. With this grab, a smear of golden liquid appeared in Fang Ping's hand. Fang Ping frowned slightly. An energy object made up of life essence, imperishable substance, and energy liquid. Looks like this was what the Sky Destroyer Emperor used to cultivate. What a pity! It was a pity that this was just a training hall. Although there were good things, these were all, and not the spiritual crystal that Fang Ping wanted. But it was normal. No one would put these things in the training hall. Fang Ping saw Jiang Chao looking at it eagerly and smiled. Since the Hall of Myriad Origins is here, you can use these things. Star Town hasn't obtained much resources in recent years. These should be enough for you to use for a while. As Fang Ping said that, he patted Jiang Chao's shoulder and said with a smile, Cultivate well. This world is more exciting than what you see. Many heroes and ambitious people have set up countless chess puzzles and mysteries for us to solve. Who is good and who is bad, what you see and what you hear may not be true. Jiang Chao seemed to understand. He thought for a while before saying, I don't play chess. Fang Ping sighed. This personality, you can be partners with the cat. The cat is a cat. You should be reincarnated as a pig. Then you can be a pair. At this moment, Su Haoran said in a low voice, Then this place, is it really fine? The Demon Emperor's apparition actually appeared in the Hall of Myriad Origins. This shocked him. It's fine. If I wanted to kill you, I would have done so long ago. Fang Ping said with a smile, His body walked out from here. The heaven-suppressing king should know. Since he allowed him to stay here, there must be some agreement. Su Haoran was a little surprised, and after a while he said in a low voice, His body, you mean the origin of life reincarnated, I guess. Fang Ping said with a smile, Don't look into it, because if you do, there's not much use in looking into it. If you really expose the other party's identity, the other party will fly into a rage and kill you. Fang Ping smiled a little and said quickly, Then I'll leave first. There's nothing I want here. At this moment, Fang Ping had already left the Hall of Myriad Origins. The door of the Hall of Myriad Origins closed with a bang. Fang Ping did not even turn his head back as he walked outside. When he passed by the conference hall again, Fang Ping suddenly looked at the statue of the heaven-suppressing king, looking into his eyes. This statue's eyes were like the eyes of a living person. The eyes were also looking at Fang Ping. Fang Ping and the eyes that looked like real eyes met for a while, then silently retreated, quickly disappearing from the conference hall. Star City's door opened. Fang Ping rose into the air, disappearing without a trace in the blink of an eye. Until he left, everyone looked at each other, a little confused. This time, Fang Ping came here for some things that exceeded their expectations. Fang Ping did not say anything, but his actions were a little strange. And the Demon Emperor actually appeared in the Hall of Myriad Origins, which surprised and shocked them. The Hall of Myriad Origins was actually the dwelling place of the Demon Emperor. This was unexpected. Jiang Chao looked at Jiang Hao, his face full of surprise. Why is the demon emperor here? What's the relationship between old ancestor Li and the demon emperor? Jiang Hao shook his head. Pervert, you're going to be the North Deputy Guardian? From what Fang Ping said, he has high hopes for you. Soon, you'll be the North Guardian. This way, I'll have another backer. There are 4 factions and 4 residences. You'll be the leader of one. Jiang Hao's head hurt. He was speechless. Can't you rely on yourself for once? Why not? Jiang Chao said gloomily. Why not when I have a backer? You're my brother. Warlord is my old ancestor. Fang Ping and I are good brothers. I've invested in him before. It's a pity that big bald Qin Fengqing is not reliable. I don't know where he is now, or else when he becomes stronger, he'll be my backer too. Jiang Chao said matter-of-factly. This was his own investment. They were all backers. Why not use them? Fighting alone was very cruel. You really should. Jiang Hao wanted to complain, but he stopped himself, shaking his head. Forget it, whatever. Jiang Chao was very pleased with himself. If you're envious or jealous, just say it. Who asked me to have good foresight and reincarnate into a good family? There's nothing I can do even if I'm envious. Meanwhile, deep within the black eyes of the heavenly king suppressing statue, a small world appeared. The comic book in the God Creation Envoy's hand was changed. At this moment, the old man raised his head and looked into the distance, as if he had seen through everything. He saw Fang Ping, who was looking at him, and everyone else. Interesting. After Fang Ping left, the old man suddenly laughed. After he finished laughing, a voice suddenly came from the darkness. What did the God Creation Envoy see? You are here again. The old man said, unhappily, don't barge into someone else's house. It's very rude. Since the God Creation Envoy knows that it's rude, why are you peeping at others? Peeping? The old man said indifferently, he walked past my house. What's wrong with me taking a peek? You call that peeping? Does the God Creation Envoy know that this person is the son of destiny that the Song Mao has come into contact with in this generation? Furthermore, this person is the current human king. In just 3 years, he has cultivated to such a level. When the God Creation Envoy heard this, he laughed and said, is that so? That was an interesting person. From the looks of it, you've been plotting against him quite a bit. Maybe, the God Creation Envoy said, lazily, I'm done. Leave. Don't blame me for chasing you away. I don't welcome you either. I just want to know, what does the God Creation Envoy think of this person? This time, the old man did not chase him away. After thinking for a while, he said, interesting, is this enough? Does he have any hope of becoming an emperor? I'm not an emperor, so how can I judge? If I really had this ability, I would have become an emperor long ago. Is the God Creation Envoy really not going to leave the mountain? Why do you want to leave the mountain? The old man said impatiently, it's time to go. You want me to leave the mountain? What do you want me to do? Could it be that he was preparing to reveal my identity to the outside world and have someone come to me to forge a divine weapon? Unfortunately, divine weapons are not that easy to forge. It's useless even if you say it. I advise you to scram as soon as possible. Don't waste your time with me. The voice dissipated, and the darkness dissipated. The old man ignored him and continued to read the comic book in his hand. However, his eyes were a little blurry, and he seemed to be absent-minded. In the small world, peace was restored once again. Outside Star City, Fang Ping did not leave. Instead, he stayed high up in the sky. Old Zhang said that Star City has Zhen Wuxing, Heavenly King Zhen, Star. Who is the star? Stars in the name, stars in the title. Fang Ping thought of the moment when he saw the Heavenly King Zhen's eyes. He seemed to feel that someone was looking at him. Are you that star? Fang Ping murmured. Star City was more mysterious than he had imagined. Initially, he thought that the appearance of the fake sky grave had made the powerhouses of the three realms leave, and the situation was already clear. However, it seemed to be different now. The situation of the three realms did not become clear. Instead, it was getting more and more confusing. I have to become stronger. The problem of the brain, nucleus, must be solved. Fang Ping made up his mind. He could not drag it out. If he did not reach the peak, he would not have Emperor-level combat strength. Without Emperor-level combat strength, he might be able to hide and protect himself. However, if he wanted to participate in the series of changes that would follow, he might not be able to do so. He did not want to be a spectator. For once, if he was a spectator for too long, it would lose its flavor. This time, he wanted to participate personally and become the leader. There were many chess games, but many layers had already been torn. Fang Ping felt that he might be able to tear the rest of them apart very soon. Heavenly Cloud Island, Fang Ping murmured. Maybe it was time to go and take a look. Chapter 1068, Forbidden Sea. The Forbidden Sea had always been incomparably mysterious. It was called the Sea of Bitterness in ancient times. The Sea of Bitterness was boundless. When the Heaven Realm still existed, the Forbidden Sea was an extremely mysterious place. After the Heavenly Realm was destroyed, the Forbidden Sea became even more dangerous. There were countless spatial cracks on the surface of the sea, and the seawater's corrosive ability was extremely strong. If an ordinary rank 9 entered the Forbidden Sea and ventured 1,000 miles deep, he might be in danger of dying. Even if they were at the apex, if they had no place to stay in the Forbidden Sea for a long time, they would still be in danger of dying. There were 33 great immortal islands scattered all over the ocean, and they were also the known overseas forces: Boundless Mountain, Immortal Seeking Island, Dragon Island, Water Force Island, Divine Crow Island, Heavenly Cloud Island, Nameless Mountain. Among them, Dizun of Nameless Mountain had already been killed. Another island was also destroyed on that day because of Tsang Mao's attack on the immortal source. Now, there might not be as many as 33 overseas immortal islands. The Forbidden Sea, which had been peaceful for many years, was in chaos these days. The demon clan in the sea wanted to occupy the overseas immortal islands. Under the leadership of several peak demon clans, they continuously attacked the overseas immortal islands, causing the Forbidden Sea to be incomparably chaotic. In the sea, Fang Ping frowned. Fang Ping was dazzled by the map drawn by Li Wuji and the others. They were both seas. Was there a difference? According to Li Wuji and the others, the currents in the Forbidden Ocean were different. They could determine the direction by following these. However, no matter how Fang Ping looked at it, he felt that it was more or less the same. Fang Ping walked on the waves. Suddenly, he stomped his foot, and the surface of the sea trembled. In the next moment, a shark-like monster floated out of the sea. Do you want to live or die? Fang Ping's mentality trembled. The shark monster that he had kicked up had just achieved rank 8 not too long ago. At this moment, it was also shivering. Its mentality fluctuated rapidly, saying, "Sir, please spare my life. This little monster wants to live." Fang Ping smiled and said, "I like demons who know what's good for them." This kind of demon race that was afraid of death was much easier to deal with than those demons that were not afraid of death and were not stingy. Fang Ping walked in the air, stepping on the shark's back with one foot. The shark monster sank abruptly. Fang Ping snorted coldly. The shark monster hurriedly sent a telepathic message. Sir's divine strength is infinite, and your golden body is heavy." I didn't notice it for a moment. The shark demon trembled with fear. It did not sink on purpose. Fang Ping was just too heavy. This made it feel a chill in its heart. The stronger an expert was, the heavier the golden body would be. This was inevitable. The stronger a powerhouse was, the more solidified their vitality was, and the heavier it was. That was why at Fong Ping's level, even with a ninth forged golden body, the weight of the golden body was beyond imagination. Just now, when he stepped on it, he was no longer floating in the air, so the shark demon couldn't react in time. Fong Ping controlled his body. A rank 8 monster was not that weak, but he still had something to ask this monster, so he did not say much. Stepping onto the shark's back, Fong Ping asked, "Where are we now?" "Sir, we are currently in the shallow waters of the South Sea. We have not yet entered the deep sea. According to the directions, the Forbidden Sea was divided into the North, South, East, and West Sea. The sea region was divided into the shallow sea region and the deep sea region. If one flew from the outer region to the Forbidden Sea, one would have to travel more than 5,000 kilometers in a straight line to reach the deep sea region. Most of the overseas immortal islands and the overseas demons lived in the deep sea. There were also demons in the shallow waters, but they were usually lone demons or demons who were too weak to survive in the deep sea. Some of these demons had established forbidden areas along the coast. Fong Ping remembered that in Magic City, there was a forbidden area along the coast. It was not considered an island. This kind of coastal area could only be considered a floating reef. The area was not big, and it was only for the demons to rest. The real overseas immortal islands were huge, like a world. The island where Tsang Mao used to fish, Shenwu Island, could be considered an overseas immortal island. That place was huge, and it was also a force of its own. The overseas 33 immortal islands included Shenwu Island, but it did not include the forbidden areas along the coast. Most of the forbidden areas along the coast did not have peak-level demons guarding them. While Fong Ping was thinking about something, the shark demon under his feet was also confused. Where did this powerhouse come from? He should not be from the Forbidden Sea. Could he be a Godland powerhouse from the sea? However, he heard that the last chaos in the sea and the appearance of the heavenly realm ruins, most of the powerhouses left. Were the Godland powerhouses still going into the sea? As the shark demon was thinking, Fong Ping looked into the distance and asked, "Do you know where the Hydro God Island is?" "Hydro God Island?" The shark demon said nervously, "I don't know. I am only a demon from Green Screen Mountain in the shallow waters. I have heard of the Hydro God tribe before, but I have never been there." The 33 overseas immortal islands were too far away. That was a force with an emperor-level powerhouse guarding them. Green Screen Mountain only had a few rank 9 island masters. They were not on the same level as the other party. They were not in the same world. Fong Ping was speechless. After thinking for a while, he said again, "I heard that the sea has been chaotic recently. Tell me about the current situation in the sea." "Oh, right. Do the demons in the sea usually keep in contact?" "Yes," the shark demon said hurriedly. "Recently, the demons from the deep waters came to Green Screen Mountain. They invited the island masters to lead the demons from Green Screen Mountain into the deep waters to participate in the war. However, the island masters have not decided yet, so they have not gone to the deep waters yet." As he said that, the shark demon added, "There are a few forbidden areas in the nearby waters. Now, the island masters are also inviting the demons from the forbidden areas to Green Screen Mountain to discuss whether to go to the deep waters." "How much do you know about the deep waters?" "This little demon doesn't know much," the shark demon said hurriedly. "I only know that after the last climate change, some of the forbidden areas of the demons in the deep waters were destroyed. Now, there is no place to rest. The few true gods are unwilling to wander in the sea, so they led the demons to besiege the 33 divine islands. The true gods summoned the demons from all directions. Many demons from the deep waters went to participate in the war. The shallow waters have not been affected yet. How many true gods are there in the deep waters? I heard there are 6, the shark demon said again. In the South Sea, this little demon only knows of King Kuan. King Kuan is the closest to Green Screen Mountain. This time, it is also the powerhouses under King Kuan's command who came to Green Screen Mountain. King Kuan? Fong Ping raised his eyebrows. He almost thought it was the evil sex King Kuan. He thought of the big fish whose head was chopped off by the old cat. Fong Ping asked, "Is it this one?" At this moment, he unleashed his mentality, manifesting the big fish that came with the crazy Taoist last time. The shark demon took a look and said hurriedly, "It's this lord." Having said that, he said, "King Kuan is said to be related to Sea God of the Forbidden Ocean. He is a descendant of Sea God. Sea God?" Fong Ping thought of something. The Forbidden Ocean seemed to have a sea god, the Sea Guardian. That was a Kuan-Ping demon. It was a Kuan-Ping in the sea, and a Peng in the sky. Its strength was unparalleled. He asked the old cat before. There were 3 messengers in the past. The 3 messengers were all heavenly king powerhouses before the 8 kings. Moreover, they were not the newly promoted kind. They were already heavenly king powerhouses in the past. The Sea Guardian could suppress misery. His strength must be extremely strong. This King Kuan might not be his direct descendant. Otherwise, Fong Ping felt that he would not need to seize the island himself. Did the Sea Guardian not have a base in the sea? That might not be the case. Obviously, if he was not a descendant who was very far away, then King Kuan was trying to flatter himself. King Kuan's territory. Then do you know the crazy true god who is with King Kuan? This little demon doesn't know which divine island is King Kuan attacking now. This little demon isn't too sure either. The shark demon was perturbed, but he still said hurriedly, "I heard that it's Cloud Mountain Immortal Island." Fong Ping's gaze moved slightly. He really knew this place. Cloud Mountain Immortal Island. He also knew a fellow, Yun Wuyang. That day in the king's battleground, facing a desperate situation, this fellow roared that he killed 5 origins and did not embarrass his father. Later, Fong Ping found out that Yun Wuyang was the 3rd-generation chief of Cloud Mountain Immortal Island. His father was the island lord of Cloud Mountain Immortal Island, a desperate realm powerhouse. As for his grandfather, he was Emperor Yunshan. He had been in closed-door cultivation for thousands of years and had not come out. Later, he seemed to have entered the fake sky grave. A family of 3 generations, 1 emperor level, 1 peerless. This Yun Wuyang was also a rank 9 powerhouse. The Yun family was not weak. Some overseas immortal islands were passed down from master to disciple. Some were passed down from family to family. The Water Clan, which had no extraordinary strength, was also considered to be passed down from family to family. Their descendants were not weak. Unlike the human side, the descendants of Zhang Tao and the rest were not considered strong. It was mainly because of time. Moreover, when Zhang Tao had resources, they first looked at military merits, then looked at qualifications, and finally looked at the distribution of closeness. This could ensure that those geniuses, those who had made contributions, would be promoted in the first place. Otherwise, with Zhang Tao's strength, if he really wholeheartedly worked for the family, the Zhang family's strength would definitely be much stronger than it was now. Other than Zhang Tao, the Zhang family did not even have a rank 9. Of course, if Zhang Tao was really that kind of person, there would probably be nothing for Fong Ping now. Humans would have been in chaos long ago. Cloud Mountain, Immortal Island, Fong Ping murmured and laughed. Come, let's go to Cloud Mountain, Immortal Island, and take a look. At this moment, he opened the map and found a landmark. It was much easier to find. Sky Cloud Island was about 50,000 li to the left of Cloud Mountain Immortal Island. The Water God Island was also in this direction. It was slightly off, but it was considered a line. After finding Cloud Mountain Immortal Island, it would be much easier to find other islands. A heavenly king should have exceeded 20,000 hertz. Fong Ping had not reached the peak yet. His mentality was about to reach 11,000 hertz. Usually he would be unusually happy. However, now, Fong Ping felt that he could actually reach 11,000 hertz. However, when he walked 600 meters on the origin path, Fong Ping realized that if he increased it, it might cause his brain nucleus to shatter again. Gu Qin's spiritual crystal had only helped him repair 10 cracks. Now that he had broken through a small hurdle, it might increase the number of cracks by more than 10. This is still a small increase. Once I reach the peak, there will be a huge increase. When that time comes, I might even shatter directly. Fong Ping sighed in his heart. If that was the case, he could only stop the supply of origin and stop the great path from advancing, stuck at 999 meters. It was not that he could not advance, but he had no choice but to stop cultivating. 1 million calories of vitality. Fong Ping had a rough idea. He vaguely deduced that the corresponding vitality needed to be controlled by the corresponding mentality. Otherwise, there might be situations where the power would be out of control. If his vitality became stronger, his mentality might not be able to control such power smoothly. If his vitality was too strong, he would lose his rationality. This was a huge problem. The shark demon beneath his feet was very fast. Fong Ping also felt some differences between the shallow and deep waters. In the shallow waters, his mentality's radiation range was still a little better. However, in the deep waters, Fong Ping realized that his mentality of more than 10,000 hertz could only cover a little more than 1,000 meters. One-tenth of mentality. Under such circumstances, even a saint-level powerhouse could only cover a range of 2,000 to 3,000 meters. As expected, the Forbidden Sea was a very complicated place. In this place, it was very easy for a paragon to fall, because it was very easy to be ambushed. At this moment, Fong Ping was ambushed. No, it was a demon. Just as the shark demon continued to advance, about 300 meters ahead, a huge seal-like monster suddenly attacked from the sea. A rank 9 monster. 300 meters to a powerhouse was a matter of the blink of an eye. When the shark demon saw the other party, it was already stunned. However, in the next moment, Fong Ping grabbed with one hand. Under the shark demon's frightened gaze, Fong Ping directly grabbed the other party's heart core. In a flash, he grabbed the other party's brain core. With both the brain and heart core pulled out, the seal monster was almost defenseless. Fong Ping easily destroyed its mentality, and the huge corpse fell into the sea, splashing water everywhere. Rank 9 monster. Fong Ping shook his head slightly. There were so many monsters in the sea, and rank 9 monsters were as many as the hairs on a cow. He had just entered the deep waters, and he had already encountered a rank 9 monster. How far are we from Cloud Mountain Immortal Island? Sir, it's about the same distance as before. In other words, it was about 10,000 li away. Fong Ping sighed. 10,000 li. He was afraid that he would encounter many dangers along the way. Of course, the impact on him was limited. There were not many demon powerhouses in the sea now. Even if the Kuan King came personally, Fong Ping might not be afraid of it. That big fish was not weak. To be able to move together with the crazy Taoist, it might have walked more than 5,000 meters on the origin path. However, after walking 5,000 meters, it would at most be on par with earthly intelligence. Fong Ping had many tricks up his sleeves. He might not be afraid of the other party. It was hard to say who would win. At this moment, Fong Ping was thinking about something else. After thinking for a while, Fong Ping asked, "There are many treasures in the sea. Do you demons usually conduct transactions?" He realized a problem. Forces like Grandmaster, Borderlands, and overseas immortal islands did not seem to conduct transactions. They were all self-sufficient. In the past, he wanted to rob a few places like markets, but he realized that there were none. However, there were such transactions in the catacombs. From the looks of it, the catacombs was considered a normal social system, a normal major force. The other parties could only be considered as sects or mountain sections. They were very self-enclosed. Thinking of the catacombs, Fong Ping thought of the 100 king coins that he kept in the depths of his storage space. Maybe when he came back this time, he could make a trip to the catacombs and use these 100 king coins. Now that the catacombs' 100 Kings Palace was not guarded by those true kings. There were only a few true kings maintaining the 100 Kings Palace's operations. The 4 main courts were all maintaining the catacombs' currency system from collapsing. Maybe he could take this opportunity to make a fortune and bring back all the good things in the catacombs, leaving them with a pile of useless 100 king coins. I might even come across some treasures that are useful to me. Fong Ping thought to himself. There were many things that he had to do. He had to make the best use of his time. It was a pity that he was the only one who could conceal his aura and change it. No one else could help him do this. Not necessarily. I can let the catacombs people do it. Fong Ping suddenly thought of something. He thought of someone, Jin Yu Huai. Later, Fong Ping found out that this guy was old Zhang's pawn in the outer realm. Before he left the last time, he was not dead. That guy was quite shrewd. He was probably at rank 7 now, right? The catacombs was so big. It would be easy to expose himself if he produced 100 king coins on a large scale. If it was on a small scale, Fong Ping might not have the energy and time to do it one by one. If he could use someone like Jin Yu Huai, it would be much more convenient. While Fong Ping was thinking, the shark demon below replied, "Sir, there are such transactions in the shallow waters. They are all transactions between some forbidden lands. As for the deep waters, I heard that there seems to be an immortal island with such a place. Powerhouses from all over gather, even attracting some ancient powerhouses. However, I am weak and do not know much about these." Fong Ping nodded slightly. Maybe he should find time to go and take a look. He just did not know if these overseas immortal islands still had the energy to run these markets in the current situation. He had forgotten to ask Luo Yu and the others. Fong Ping was still quite interested in the treasures in the sea. Some of the treasures in the catacombs might not be effective after being used once. As for the treasures in the sea, Fong Ping did not use them often. They might still be effective. Just as Fong Ping was thinking about all sorts of random things. 10,000 miles away, an island that looked like a fairyland was incomparably huge, with a radius of thousands of miles. At this moment, in the sky above the island, a wave-like barrier rippled. There were powerhouses floating in the air around the island, looking worried. Outside the barrier, there were demons attacking the barrier from both the sky and the ground. In the sky above these demons, there was an incomparably huge fish demon beast floating in the air. On the island, there was also a middle-aged martial artist with a strong aura floating in the air. However, his aura was a little unstable, looking like he was injured. At this moment, the middle-aged man's expression was ugly as he growled, "King Kuan, our Cloud Mountain immortal island has been in the bitter sea for 8,000 years. Back then, We were even conferred by the Sea Guardian to suppress the South Sea. Since you are a descendant of the Sea Guardian, are you going to disobey the orders of the Sea Guardian?" In the void, the huge fish opened its mouth. "True Lord Cloudwood, since I am a descendant of the Sea Guardian, now that the Sea Guardian has left, the bitter sea will be under my command. I have said that I am only borrowing the Cloud Mountain Immortal Island temporarily. When the Sea Guardian or the Cloud Mountain Venerable Emperor returns, I will naturally return it. Now that the Emperor's restriction is about to be broken, if you continue to resist, the day the restriction is broken will be the day your Cloud Mountain Immortal Island is destroyed." Arrogant! True Lord Cloudwood's expression was livid, but he was indeed no match for the other party. If it were not for the fact that King Kuan seemed to be injured when he went to the Earth realm this time, Cloud Mountain Immortal Island would have been broken through 2 to 3 days ago. But in the past 2 days, King Kuan's injuries had already healed, and his attacks were getting stronger. If this continued, Cloud Mountain Immortal Island that had stood in the bitter sea for 8,000 years might really become a thing of the past in a day or two. At that moment, a young man beside him said in a low voice with an indignant expression, "Father, why don't you let me make a trip to the human world? I heard that a few days ago, the human king, Fong Ping, killed 5 true gods in the Earth realm. Luo Yu and the others from Boundless Mountain went to the human world to seek help, and the Water God Island's Li Wuji is on good terms with them. Previously, the Water God Island was in great danger. Now that I heard that the Water God race has submitted to the human world, the Demon King that attacked the Water God race has retreated." True Lord Cloudwood's expression was livid. "You want me to submit to the human world with Cloud Mountain Immortal Island? Do you know that Cloud Mountain Immortal Island was personally conferred by the Sea Guardian to suppress the bitter sea? Your grandfather is the emperor conferred by the heavenly courts, not the unorthodox Water God race." True Lord Cloudwood had his own pride. His father was the emperor conferred by the heavenly courts, and Cloud Mountain Immortal Island was also conferred by the Sea Guardian, the overlord of the bitter sea. It was different from some other forces, asking him to submit to the human world. Once this matter got out, not to mention that his father was still alive, once he returned and found out that Cloud Mountain Immortal Island had submitted to the human world, he might die of anger. Yun Wuyang sighed in his heart, feeling a little helpless. Did his father still think that the current 3 realms was the 3 realms of the past? The heavenly courts had long been destroyed. Now that Fong Ping had made a name for himself in the 3 realms, who was not afraid of him? He and Fong Ping could be considered to know each other and had fought side by side before. Now that he went to the human world to ask for help, it might not be useless. But his father was too proud and did not want him to go to the human world. Now that the Immortal Island was in danger, if this continued, the Immortal Island might really be destroyed. Even if his father could take him to escape, where could the Yun family hide in the vast 3 realms without their foundation? Yun Wuyang could only think about it, but his father did not allow it, so there was nothing he could do. At this moment, Yun Wuyang was really envious of Fong Ping. Although Fong Ping was stronger than him that day, there was a limit to his strength. Who would have thought that in less than a month, Fong Ping had already made a name for himself in the 3 realms? If he had known this earlier, he might have tried to get closer to him that day. If they had become friends and knew that Cloud Mountain Immortal Island was in danger, even if he did not submit to the human world, Fong Ping might come to help. What a pity! While Yun Wuyang was feeling regretful, outside the island, King Kuan's eyes were flickering. He had to take down Cloud Mountain Immortal Island as soon as possible. He was not anxious before, but now he was really anxious. The cat he met earlier, was it Sky Emperor? He met Sky Emperor and was targeted by the cat, and it insisted on eating the fish head hot pot. King Kuan almost died of anger, but after weighing the pros and cons, he chose the fish head hot pot between being stewed whole or the fish head hot pot. But it could not go on like this. He had to become stronger as soon as possible. Taking down the overseas immortal island was a shortcut to becoming stronger. Not to mention that he was preparing to participate in the battle for the divine sex treasures soon. At this moment, he had to become stronger. King Kuan thought about it and felt a little regretful. It was a pity that he did not know where the Sea Guardian's dojo was. Otherwise, if he went to the Sea Guardian's dojo, he might be able to gain more. While he was thinking about this, he did not know that someone was coming from behind. He was wondering if he should bring back a fish for the big cat as a reward. Chapter 1069. Rumble. When Fong Ping was tens of li away from Cloud Mountain Immortal Island, a roar was heard. His mentality could not sense clearly, but Fong Ping saw the huge island in the distance. At this moment, demons were attacking the island from all directions in the sky. Under the water, there was also an explosion of energy inside Cloud Mountain Immortal Island. Those powerhouses also attacked one after another, killing those demons through the seal. Under Fong Ping's feet, the shark demon was shivering. It had already felt the danger. Not only was it dangerous, but now the shark demon's golden body was rapidly corroding. It needed to find an island to rest on shore immediately. However, just as it had this thought, an imperishable substance came from under Fong Ping's feet, and its corroded golden body began to recover. Fong Ping did not care about it, stepping on the shark's head and looking into the distance. This is the overseas Immortal Island. This was Fong Ping's first time seeing the overseas Immortal Island. He was a little surprised. He thought that there was an island above the overseas Immortal Island, but now, was this really an island? That incomparably huge land that could not be seen at a glance gave him the feeling that it was a new continent. This was an island? Although Fong Ping was surprised, he quickly recovered. In a world where powerhouses were everywhere, an emperor-level powerhouse might be able to create a passage that was thousands of li long under one attack. It was too small, and powerhouses would not be stifled when they moved around. Not only is it big, but it's also so rich in energy. Even from a distance, Fong Ping could feel the extremely rich energy on the island. This was similar to the realm beyond heavens and the land of domains. At this moment, the huge island was besieged by countless demons. In the void, the wave-like membrane was also trembling, looking like it would break soon. Fong Ping thought for a while and said, "Why do the overseas demons have to attack the island? It shouldn't be so difficult to find a place to live, right? The Forbidden Sea is so big. I don't believe that there is no uninhabited island. Then why fight with the powerhouses of the island?" The shark demon was not surprised by his question. The powerhouses on land probably did not know much about this either. Hearing Fong Ping's question, the shark demon said quickly, "Sir, the Forbidden Sea will riot every once in a while. At that time, the seawater's corrosive power is extremely strong. Not only that, the seawater will also converge toward the place where the energy is concentrated. On the uninhabited island, once there are demons living and there is no isolation barrier, the seawater will quickly corrode those demons with energy. However, the Immortal Island was different. A part of the Immortal Island was a fragment of the heavenly realm. The seawater would not corrode the Immortal Island. Even if some of them are not fragments of the heaven realm, when the Demon Emperor God dynasty was destroyed, many experts killed their way into the Demon Emperor God dynasty and seized some fragments of the Demon Emperor continent. Those fragments also have the ability to resist the erosion of the sea. This shark demon really did know. He added, "Furthermore, The Forbidden Sea is in a state of chaos. It is impossible to absorb energy from the sea. Only on the Immortal Island, with the Immortal Island's great array, can one absorb energy and cultivate normally. Speaking up to here, the shark demon said with some envy, also, only on the Immortal Island can one have the opportunity to advance to become a true divinity. According to the island master, only these immortal islands were connected to the Great Tao. The Forbidden Sea was actually not connected to the Great Tao. In any case, attaining the Tao was extremely difficult. On the Enchanted Island, the Great Path is not extinct because the fragments of the Heaven Realm and the Demon Emperor Divine Dynasty were left by supreme experts, so it is not a place where the Great Path is extinct. Fong Ping really did not know about this. After hearing the question, he asked curiously, if that's the case, then why don't you demons come ashore? According to the shark monster, it was very difficult to reach the peak in the Forbidden Sea. Only by going to some fragments of the heavenly realm or the earthly emperor god dynasty could they hope to reach the peak. If it was so difficult, then they might as well go to the land. The shark demon said telepathically, in the past, there were demons who wanted to go ashore. However, there are many experts on the Godland. The true divinity demons have their own territories. Those who wanted to go ashore were all demons who were not at the true divinity realm. How could the demons who were not at the true divinity realm be a match for the true divinities in the Godland? After being beaten back a few times, they gave up. The forbidden lands in the coastal area are actually the forbidden lands after a compromise. Those who are close to the coast can also prove their Tao. Moreover, the true kings of the Godland do not care about the matters in the sea. Therefore, some demons who want to become true divinity will go to the forbidden lands in the coastal area if they cannot find the fragments of the heaven realm in the sea. Fong Ping nodded slightly. This was true. There were many true kings in the catacombs. Previously, there were hundreds of them at their peak. The overseas immortal islands had their own islands and did not have the intention to go ashore. Those who wanted to go ashore were demons without any backing and strength. Such demons would not dare to go against those true kings. Since that King Kuan has proven his Tao, why is there a need to attack the islands? This time, the shark demon did not understand. He answered carefully and did not give Fong Ping an answer. Fong Ping did not care. Rank 8 was too weak in the Forbidden Sea. It was normal that he did not know. However, King Kuan and the other demons suddenly attacked the Immortal Islands. Perhaps there were other benefits. Otherwise, Fong Ping did not think that these demons would fight to the death with those paragons. Even if King Kuan was strong, the opponents were paragons. He might not win for sure. Sir, Lord King Kuan has already started fighting with Cloud Mountain Immortal Island. Should this little demon take a detour? The shark demon was worried that Fong Ping still wanted him to go there. There were many powerhouses there. It would be easy to be implicated and die. At this moment, Fong Ping was also pondering. Cloud Mountain Immortal Island seemed to be breached soon. Should he go? As for King Kuan, it was not that easy to deal with, although he wanted to reward Big Cat, so that Big Cat would not think that he did not give it some benefits. Killing King Kuan was not an ordinary level of difficulty. Moreover, if he made a move here, once he attracted the attention of others, they might suspect him. This time, he came to the Forbidden Sea to search for the evil sect headquarters. On the other hand, he wanted to heal his injuries. If his whereabouts were exposed, it was very likely that he would be surrounded and killed by the evil sect powerhouses, including Thunder Emperor. This is not going to be easy. Fong Ping thought to himself. He was already ready to give up. As for Cloud Mountain Immortal Island, saving them might not be useful. They might not appreciate it. He understood these old antiques' thoughts better than anyone else. Most of the time, if you saved them, they would think that you had ulterior motives or that it was only natural. If it was someone else who saved them, it would be fine. However, if it was a human martial artist who saved them, these fellows most of the time would think that it was only natural. Their high and mighty mentality could not be changed in a short period of time. They might even feel that being saved by a human martial artist was a kind of humiliation. Fong Ping was thinking if he should take a detour. Suddenly, Fong Ping's gaze changed. Did I meet someone I knew? No, a familiar demon? At the same time, outside Cloud Mountain Immortal Island, a long line of demon army walked on the sea, hurrying over. In front of the army was a gigantic, leopard-striped golden-armored monster. The monster had a single horn on its head, shining with golden light, extremely brilliant. At this moment, this monster's aura was high, extremely arrogant. The monster army marched directly toward Cloud Mountain Immortal Island and King Kuan's side. From afar, the golden-armored monster spoke in human language, shouting, "Lord King Kuan, perfected Lord Cloudwood, please wait." At this moment, perfected Lord Cloudwood had already walked out of the island, fighting with King Kuan outside the island. Hearing this voice, the man and the monster looked at the golden-armored monster at the same time. The golden-armored monster was not a paragon, but it was also a top powerhouse among the rank 9 powerhouses. It was difficult for non-paragon monsters to speak, but some ancient mutants could speak in human language before they reached the paragon. Clearly, this golden-armored monster's bloodline was not simple. When King Kuan saw this golden horn monster, he instantly transformed into a human. He was also a handsome young man, but his expression was gloomy. Looking at the monster, he said lightly, "Sky Jiao, why are you here?" "Sky Jiao." "Yes, Jiao." The golden-armored monster was the Jiao that had been missing for many days. However, Jiao now had a surname, Tian. The old cat said that its ancestor was the Heavenly Hound. Jiao now knew that the Heavenly Hound was the Heavenly Emperor, an invincible powerhouse. Although the ancestor seemed to be dead, there was nothing wrong with its surname Tian. How powerful was the surname Tian? It also prevented others from calling it the golden-horned monster. Demons below the paragon usually did not have their own unique names, and even if they did, it was rare. However, Jiao still gave itself a name, Sky Jiao. Hearing him speak, the Jiao said in a loud voice, "Lord Mingting has orders. Chaos is not advisable in the near future. The demons and the overseas humans can negotiate. There is no need to start a war." Lord Mingting was actually the crazy Taoist. As for Jiao, it was now the strongest powerhouse under the crazy Taoist's command, the leader of the demons, Mingting's loyal lackey. Even now, Jiao was still proud of its choice. Back then, it was left deep in the Forbidden Ocean by that big cat, and there was no one to help it. At that time, there happened to be a demon war in the ocean. It had also been involved a few times and was almost killed by others. Fortunately, it was smart enough not to be killed, but also took the opportunity to devour many demons, becoming stronger and stronger. Originally, it was ready to go back and not stay in the ocean. But that day, the Forbidden Ocean collapsed, and it was almost killed by the chaotic Forbidden Ocean. It was also unfortunate that it met the crazy Taoist who could not enter the Tomb of Heaven. The crazy Taoist seemed to have gone crazy and went on a rampage, slaughtering the demons in the ocean. Jiao was scared out of its wits, and it cursed the cat countless times. At the last moment, it heard the crazy Taoist's words and shouted, "There is a way to enter the Tomb of Heaven." It bowed its head and recognized the crazy Taoist as its master. That was the reason for the scene that happened today. Of course, as for how to enter the Tomb of Heaven, Jiao knew nothing, but it was just bluffing. As a wise demon, it still had some ability. It knew the cat, and the cat knew how to enter, and the cat could not find it now. If it found it, then it could definitely enter. If not this time, then next time. Anyway, there must be a way, and the cat liked to eat barbecue. So Jiao suggested the crazy Taoist to prepare some good food first. If they met the cat, it could speak up for it. If the cat did not have good food, it would not help. Needless to say, the crazy Taoist believed it. The crazy Taoist, knew a little. Eating, drinking, and playing was fine, but if you wanted the cat to do something, you had to give something in return. Although the cat had entered the tomb of heaven, would the tomb of heaven not open again? And the cat knew where the tomb of heaven was. If others came out, they might not be able to find it. Because of this, the crazy Taoist believed Jiao's words and subdued a group of demons. At first, they wanted to use them as barbecue, but then Jiao felt that there were no more powerhouses in the overseas immortal islands. It would be good enough to build a cat palace for the cat. The cat liked to do that. Thus, the crazy Taoist, who was not a demon from the ocean, participated in this war and led some demons to attack the islands. Jiao did not have the intention to build a cat palace for the cat. This guy's thinking was very simple. It was a war. The more demons, the better. The more powerful demons died, the better. It took the opportunity to gain some benefits and devoured some powerhouses' corpses. Maybe it could advance to the top. Wouldn't it be stupid not to use a free fighter? It had always wanted to trick the crazy Taoist into fighting the top demons. Unfortunately, although the old man was crazy, he was afraid of fighting the top demons, which made Jiao's plan fail. Now, it could only slowly devour some rank 9 demons, accumulate strength, and wait to devour the top demons to see if there was a chance for it to advance. Fong Ping did not know that half of the chaos overseas was related to Jiao. This guy wanted to see the world in chaos, relying on the crazy Taoist strength and its identity as the crazy Taoist's #1 fighter. It had taken the initiative to cause trouble and even had conflicts with the overseas immortal islands and even the overseas demons. War. It was unknown how many times it had happened. The Jiao had been eating to its heart's content these past few days. It had long forgotten about returning to Shanghai. It was too lazy to go back either. It was having fun here. It had good food, good drinks, and a bunch of demons had been subdued by it. The crazy Taoist almost did not care about anything, and it was all in charge. Using the crazy Taoist power, it reaped a lot of benefits. Jiao's words made King Kuan's face darken. It was about to break Cloud, Mountain, Immortal Island's barrier, and now it was told to stop. The crazy Taoist might be strong, but he might not be able to do anything to it. Sky Jiao, this is my territory. You guys fight your battles, and we'll do our own. Since when was it Ming Ting's turn to order me around? Jiao said loudly, Lord Kuan, this is Lord Ming Ting's order. Sky Jiao is just passing it on. Of course, Lord Ming Ting wants all parties to sit down and negotiate. Cloud, Mountain, Immortal Island can give up a part of the island for your demons to stay. If they don't, Lord Ming Ting will personally kill all powerhouses, wipe out their families, and destroy their sects. Jiao said loudly. Its tone was not polite, but a little aggressive. This was indeed the crazy Taoist's order. However, the crazy Taoist's original intention was to prepare for the battle against the evil sections. It was not a good time to fall out with the overseas immortal islands. Sending Jiao here was to let everyone negotiate. Jiao's thinking was, if you don't want to fight, what use are you? I haven't reached the top yet. How could the crazy Taoist want to go into seclusion? Jiao had made up its mind this time. It had to fight. It wanted to be arrogant and provoke strong enemies for the crazy Taoist. It would be best if they fought among themselves and killed one by one. If a few top experts died, it would be best if their corpses were left behind. For example, if this powerful fish died and its corpses were left behind, Jiao might be able to enter the impasse realm and become a true overlord. With these thoughts in mind, Jiao was ready to escape at any time. It had brought so many demons here to protect it. Seeing that Kuan King was silent, Jiao roared again, "Kuan King, are you going against Lord Mingting's order? Lord Mingting is the strongest in the Forbidden Sea. If anyone dares to disobey, don't blame Lord Mingting for killing you personally." Then it looked at Perfected Cultivator, Yunmu. Perfected Cultivator, Yunmu, since Lord Mingting has ordered, Cloud Mountain Immortal Island must give up a part of the island for the demons to cultivate. Not only that, Cloud Mountain Immortal Island has to pay tribute to Lord Mingting every year. Perfected Cultivator, Yunmu's face was livid. Pay tribute? Apart from paying tribute to the Sea Guardian back then, they had never paid tribute to anyone else. Moreover, Emperor Yunshan was an emperor-level powerhouse. Although he had left, he was not dead yet. Mingting was strong, but he was not emperor-level. Now, he wanted Cloud Mountain Immortal Island to pay tribute to him. How arrogant! Jiao did not care about them. It was ready to escape at any time. As soon as these people attacked, it would go back and complain. It would say that not only were they disobedient, but they also scolded it, Perfected Cultivator Mingting, and wanted to join forces to kill it. Jiao had already thought it through. When it returned, it would instigate them to fight. It would kill one by one, and it would take advantage of the situation to become a top expert. Be someone's servant? Perfected Cultivator Mingting was overthinking. I am the king of the demons in the 7 southern regions. I am also the descendant of the celestial emperor. My status is extremely noble. The human kings of the land of rebirth, who were famous overseas, were all its chefs. The famous King Wu, heavenly king subduing, these people had conferred titles on it. Jiao did not forget that back in the 7 southern regions, chef had conferred titles on it. That was a title given by a big shot. It was conferred as a king. Not only that, it even knew the cat. Although that cat was unreliable, it was still a powerhouse. Jiao was considered its relative. With such a noble status, how could it be a servant to a mere desperation realm martial artist? Previously, there were benefits to be reaped. It was fine to be a grandson. Now, these people actually wanted to stop fighting. That would not do. Jiao had not become a top expert yet. These guys had to continue fighting to the death. At this moment, Jiao felt a little regretful. Perhaps it should make a trip to Magic City's catacombs. It did not know if Chef could come overseas now. There were many good things overseas. It alone could not defeat them. If it called on Chef to be its fighter, it might be able to do something big. Right now, he was leading many demon clans. These silly demon clans had no intelligence at all, and they would fight whoever he told them to. If he added in a top combat power, coupled with their unparalleled intelligence, they might be able to become the overlord of the seas. While Jiao was still thinking, the man and demon in the air both looked grim. But they did not attack as Jiao had expected. Perfected Lord Yunmu was in a dilemma. He did not want to continue fighting in case Cloud Mountain Immortal Island was really destroyed. King Kuan, on the other hand, knew why the crazy Taoist wanted to stop fighting. Previously, when the crazy Taoist went to the outer regions, King Kuan went too. A war with the evil sect was about to break out soon. Starting another war with the overseas immortal islands now might not be beneficial. But knowing was one thing. King Kuan was still extremely annoyed that they were about to take down Cloud Mountain Immortal Island. Even though he was extremely annoyed, King Kuan also knew that the crazy Taoist was very concerned about the evil sect. Now that they had a conflict, given the crazy Taoist personality, he might really fight to the death with King Kuan. King Kuan's expression was ugly, but he did not attack. Now, Jiao was a little depressed. We're already forced to this extent. How can you guys tolerate it? Why don't these overseas top experts have the courage to fight perfected Lord Mingting? If you guys don't fight, where am I going to devour the Desperation Realm's corpse? Should I provoke them again? But if I provoke them too much, they'll definitely kill me. Won't that be bad luck? Jiao was a little depressed. What should it do now? It was in a dilemma. It was not confident and did not dare to act recklessly. If there were two top experts by its side to back it up, it would be so angry that they would explode. Jiao was depressed. Fang Ping, on the other hand, looked at the giant golden horned beast in the distance. After a while, he mumbled to himself uncertainly, "Is that Jiao?" He felt like it. That golden armor and that horn were very similar to Jiao's. But its aura was much stronger than the Jiao that had just entered rank 9. Even from so far away, Fang Ping felt that it was very strong. It was probably close to the Desperation Realm. Is that Jiao? This guy is actually leading so many demons. Fang Ping looked at the hundreds of demons surrounding Jiao. Among them, half were probably rank 9. He was also shocked. How did this big dog do it? It had actually made a name for itself in the Forbidden Sea. But on second thought, this big dog's diplomatic skills were not bad. Back in the boundary zone, it had become familiar with the demons there and had a place to stay. Now, it was not hard to imagine that it had made a name for itself in the Forbidden Sea. What a social butterfly! Fang Ping sighed. This big dog had actually made it to the top of the demons. Could he make use of it? He was really worried. If he went to Heavenly Cloud Path, he might not have a chance to sneak in. If the big dog was here, maybe he would have a chance. Not only that, the big dog had become the leader of the demons here. The Water God clan was here too. Maybe he could make arrangements overseas. Fang Ping's eyes flickered. Overseas. The Forbidden Sea was a blind spot for humans. It was difficult for humans to know what happened here. If the news spread to the human world, it would probably be over long ago. But if humans had a stronghold in the sea, then there would be an endless supply of natural treasures transported to the human world. There would also be a large number of demon corpses forged into divine weapons and transported back. Not only that, including the Sky Cemetery, the fake Sky Cemetery, and the evil sect, overseas would know immediately. The more Fang Ping thought about it, the more tempted he became. He had to get in touch with this big dog. Also, if the evil sect had the Heavenly Hound's corpse, bringing the big dog, there might be unexpected gains. At the thought of this, Fang Ping instantly restrained his aura. Below his feet, the shark monster thought that Fang Ping had left. It turned around and looked up, only to see Fang Ping hovering in the air. It was almost scared to death. He was still here. It did not expect a human king to come. This kind of top-notch powerhouse could not sense a rank 8 monster like it when it restrained its aura. Fang Ping did not have time to care about it. His mentality began to spread. Halfway through, he finished accumulating his emotions. In the next moment, a familiar voice suddenly rang in the Jiao's mind, mixed with infinite emotions. "Brother Jiao, I've finally found you. I didn't take the risk in vain, abandoning the overall situation of humanity to find you. That guy Cat actually abandoned you. I've been worried for the past few days. It's good that Brother Jiao is fine. It's good that you're fine. I can finally be at ease." Fang Ping was almost crying. "Big dog, can you feel it? I've paid such a high price to find you." At this moment, the Jiao was stunned. "The chef is here, looking for me? In order to find me, he even abandoned the land of rebirth?" This moved the demon too much, although it felt a little strange. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.